This is the D6 generation with your hosts, Craig Gallant.
No, cut that. Keep that. Someday it's going to be worth something.
Russ Wakelin.
You put me in an ATST with frickin' Wookiees attacking me and whatnot?
Now you're talking. And Raef, Hollywood Granger.
Craig, come over here. I need you for the bonus.
With contributions from Total Fangirl.
Vampires do not sparkle.
And our loyal listeners.
Are you crazy? That's like 400 hours of gamer nonsense.
Welcome to another edition of Rapid Fire, the roundtable discussion of all things gaming, coming to the speed of the vision of a creepy old man crouched over a crystal ball, sprinkled with pixie dust, peering deeply into the forbidden mysteries of the future. What? Today's edition is brought to you by all of our friends over at Patreon that help us keep the lights on in this godforsaken, not too horrible show. And this time around, we're talking about the Ian Show. Ian Arvizo, Ian Betts, Ian McCreary, Ian Sharma Cook, and bringing up the rear, Isaias Vallejo. Not an Ian, but an honorary Ian this time around. I'm Geekly McNardigan, your host. Today our panelists are, as always, Russ Wondrous Walla Walla Wakelin, and a very special guest, third chair emeritus and local rock legend, Raef Great Googly Boogly Granger. Let's begin. Issue number 1. Someone somewhere on the internet defined irony as a state of affairs or an event that seems deliberately contrary to what one expects, as with an often amusing result. Such as a person who hates doing something, doesn't think they're any good at it, and yet won last year anyway. Question: how many awards total has Alanis Morissette won to date? Real World Russ.
I'm going to go with 13 and a half.
Right through your Raef.
3.
24, which makes you both, in the real world, wrong. That would include 7 Grammys and 12 Juno Awards. Don't ask. I don't know.
That's
which is ironic, don't you think? Yes. Issue number 2. Although Rogue One, a Star Wars story, was never expected to match Episode 7, The Force Awakens, nevertheless, its success did manage to surprise many analysts who downplayed the reception of this dark semi-prequel, which managed to earn its own place in cinema history despite the comparisons with previous franchise offerings. Question: what place did the film's $71.1 million opening day take earn in the all-time opening day record books? It's somewhere in the top 20. Chirrut Imwe Wakelin.
I'm going to go with 7.
Sal Guerrera Granger.
11.
12th, which makes you close, but still, both of you legitimately in the real world wrong. In addition to taking the second highest online pre-sales ever behind The Force Awakens and the third biggest weekend debut of 2016. Go Star Wars, go! Go Star Wars, go! Go Star Wars. Issue number 3. The future is a dark and mysterious place, filled with swirling fog and strange flashing lights that confuse and disorient. How can anyone peering from the flat, mundane present hope to decipher anything of value through the curling mists of possibility and potentiality that is the future? Question: the 2011 film The Future, in the 2011 film The Future, what event in the lives of Jason and Sophie threatens to bend the very fabric of space and time, changing forever the nature of reality as we know it? Animal shelter receptionist Russ.
He finds a very small object.
Tree-to-tree canvasser Raef.
I don't even know what you're talking about.
Sadly, that's pretty common. The answer to the question is adopting a stray cat. I gave you the hint there. Animal shelter receptionist Russ. Oh, sadly, it was not one of 2011's finest, and neither were you. Both of you wrong! Issue number 4. Throughout science and speculative fiction runs the thread of endangering the future through such actions as time travel and, yes, formalized and strengthening predictive formulae. A world where people can travel backward and forward in time or easily see what tomorrow will bring is a world where the very solidity of certain knowledge could take away everything that makes us human. Question: in what 2019 film do Gilbert Gottfried and Britney Spears launch a legal battle against time travel after Brendan Fraser's character inadvertently causes the stock market to crash in 2017? Ralph Macchio Russ.
The day the Earth stood still mostly.
Meg Ryan Raef.
Time Travelers.
Sadly, I'd love to tell you both it's going to be great, but that would break the time-space continuum, and it's just not worth it. Sorry, but rest assured, you're both wrong! That's it for now. Thanks for listening, and good night.
This episode of the D6 generation is brought to you by Lone Wolf Development. Take your game to the next level.
And by Geek Nation Tours. Rise up and join the Geek Nation
touring the world at geeknationtours.com.
And by Audible. Try the service, get a free book, and support the show. All by visiting audibletrial.com/D6G. Hello!
Hello.
Hey, and welcome to episode 204 of the D6 Generation. I'm Russ Wakeland.
That sounded like Raef Granger.
It did. I think the person just spoke.
Thanks
Craig
for
Gallant.
picking it up, Russ. And I'm Craig Gallant.
Yes.
Raef was supposed to just jump in with.
Well, I normally don't go second. Usually,
No,
I know you weren't supposed to go
today.
second. I was jumping in
And
there. You
Craig
do it all the
screwed it all up.
time.
Man, you think after 204 episodes,
you just don't know how to do it right. And I'm
know.
Raef Granger,
Yes.
sitting here in my third chair, apparently not jumping in when I'm supposed to. Right, Russ?
No,
No,
Rafe, you did
you
perfectly.
were all set and ready to
Craig
go.
botched it as usual.
It was all me. As usual.
Yes.
Oh, God, I want to push the family friendly right now. I really want to push the family friendly.
Anyway,
As usual.
That's funny.
we're all here together. Rafe's back in the third chair. Always a good time to have you back on, Rafe. Thank you so much for joining us again. Because it's time now for, gentlemen,
My favorite
the highly
episode of the year.
the highly anticipated, and we've no idea why, the highly anticipated annual predictions episode of the D6 Generation. In this episode, we go back.
Often duplicated.
Yes. No. Well.
Never
maybe.
something.
We go back this time
Never
last year.
extricated.
We made
Explicated.
yes, we made some predictions last year about what was going to happen this year.
Russ wants to finish this.
Just
Yeah,
trying
Russ
to
is
move the show
already
forward.
regretting this episode.
Keeping the listeners engaged.
He's just
Some
going.
kind
I
of
love how he
narrative is
just keeps
occurring.
going.
Just try and drive forward.
He's used to it, Greg.
Yeah.
You'd think by now.
It's his old habits just come right back to him like riding a
That's
bike.
right. That's right.
All right.
Who has to be the grown up here?
No one, apparently.
Anyway, you're trying so hard.
We're going to try to go back to our predictions from last year and see how they turned out. And then later, we're going to make some predictions about 2017 using our complex yet surprisingly effective rule system that we'll explain more about in a bit. That was actually crowdsourced, really. Pretty much everybody and their cousin has helped us design this rule system at this point. But first,
This wasn't all one listener. I thought this was
And
all
I've got some good ones, too.
So before
Good
we get to all
predictions.
that, we have a couple announcements here. First of all, we ran into Rafe not too long ago, Dunkin' Donuts, right after Rogue One came out. And Rafe, do you remember what we talked about?
Well, we talked about the effervescent new movie Rogue One.
A Star Wars story. Yes.
It was awesome.
It was great. We talk about it. It is full of spoilers, so do not listen to that until you've gone and seen the film. But we really we enjoyed it. So we talk a lot about that. And Craig, what's the best way should you want to listen to a Lost Chapter? For example, you want to listen to our thoughts on Rogue One in detail. How would you go about listening to that show?
I would, if I were you, I would go to Patreon, and I would go to patreon.com, or I would even go to the d6generation.com and click on the Patreon button. Both of those things will eventually get you to the same place, which is the D6 Generation page at Patreon. Check it out, look it around, kick the tires, see what you have to say right there. And basically what we're asking for is a donation, a small little donation for you to kick into the till each episode that comes out, and it's all automated. You set it all up yourself, and it does exactly what you tell it to do. And if you are donating $2 an episode or more to the D6 Generation, you will unlock cha-ching, all of the Lost Chapter library, including all of the latest and greatest.
Exactly right. So head on over to the D6 Generation and click on the Patreon logo in the upper right-hand corner, and you can see all that great information. So what's the time now for, Craig?
Achievements in gaming.
It is brought to us by all of our fine friends over at Patreon. Thank you so much for all your support throughout 2016 and all the prior years. We really, really appreciate it. So, Craig, Rafe, let's start with our guest. Rafe, what have you been playing lately?
Well, much to Craig's chagrin, I've been missing from gaming recently.
Boo.
I've just not been doing a lot of gaming. So let's see. I have some computer games, but that goes down in other.
Yes.
So I'm racking my brain for tabletop. Oh, yes. Well, I've been playing D&D.
There you go.
So I've been playing 3.5, which we talked about recently when we did the anniversary episode.
Yes, I remember that.
And then, Craig, did we talk about Dave's new Rogue D&D?
I have talked about it briefly and the cool, the basic idea and the concept behind it.
Yeah, so I'm in that one too, Russ. So if anybody's just listening to this one, Dave created it's like we're all a bunch of rogues or thief type characters, assassin type characters, and it's based on a timer and on a clock. And apparently I got famous for, I didn't even know I was doing this.
Yes, you were.
If we help each other, we get bonuses to our skill check. So I would go, Craig, come over here. Help me pick this lock. Craig, come over
basically,
here.
my half-elf assassin became like a briefcase that was being carried around by our female dwarf rogue, who would just like whip my bonus open for a +1 on her roll each time she tried to do anything.
You're like the sous chef of lockpicking.
I was indeed, which is odd because when I was actually doing it on my own, I was detecting traps. I was neutralizing traps. I did all kinds of good stuff. Right. And then when Raef finally got to the end and was like, okay, I'm going to take all these bonuses and Craig, get over here. I need a bonus. And failed. And now we're fighting a giant army of automatons.
Nice.
Is that what caused? I don't remember triggering that. I do remember picking the door so we could get out.
You did that. Now, sadly, we will eventually have to go through that room full of automatons on our way out. But right now, we're okay.
I'll find another way. So, Russ, since I don't have any other games played, we'll talk a little bit. So, I in my 3.5 game, I made a dwarf rogue. I mean, who makes that, right?
Right.
And it's female, too. So, she's awesome. But she's good in the 3.5 campaign. So, in this one, when Dave said, go ahead and make an evil character, I mean, what do? Of course, you make her evil twin sister.
Ooh, does she have a beard?
So this one in the 5e world is my evil Hesperides is the name of my character in the 3.5, otherwise known as Hespe. And in this one, I'm drawing a blank on the name I picked, but I looked up Hesperides is Greek, so I looked up like what would be an evil Greek name. So I picked an evil Greek name. I'll find it. It's a cool name, and in this game, I try to like forge ahead because our group can go pretty slow. We have a lot of analysis types of characters. So I try to move the adventure along, but not try to be that guy that runs like too far ahead or too many rooms ahead. But yeah, so that's what I would do is they'd be like, all right, I'm looking at this, I'm looking at that. I'm like, I'd say to Dave, I'm picking the lock. I wouldn't even check for traps or anything. So I'd be like, Craig, come over here. I need your bonus. So.
Nice.
It was pretty fun.
Very good.
My favorite vision is there were these like pillars that you had to jump from, and everybody's getting their packs out and their ropes out. And I say to Dave, I'm like, how far is it? It's like 15 feet. I'm like, I've got acrobatics. I'm like, I'm going to run and jump. So I would just run and jump. And then I would get to the next. I was on it and I made it. And everybody's like, Raef, wait there. I'm going to throw you the rope. I'm like, nope, I'm jumping to the next one.
I can do it.
And he did it mainly, basically.
Mainly. Fall to your death. That's always a good thing.
That ended with there was a pillar with like a pool of water and like a basin or something, and it had some riddle which I interpreted as cut my hand and let the blood drip in it. So again, I didn't wait. I'm like, I cut my hand and the blood drops in there, and it created an evil doppelganger of myself, which then killed me.
Well,
yes, that was true. Yes.
Are you back to life? Or are you dead?
No, he was unconscious. He was unconscious.
Right.
Yes.
Well, that sounds rough.
And then he sucked down like half of our healing stuff. So
this is an important life lesson, Raef, that is pretty much stock now in all storytelling. It's kind of like in horror movies, like don't open the closet or don't separate the group. When someone asks for your DNA, just say no. You don't give it out. It never ends well. Just don't do it.
So true. It's fun. Dave's doing a great job with it.
Excellent.
Yep,
Excellent.
So I'm racking my brain. Any other tabletop games? I feel like there was, but no.
We'll get it.
That's it.
Okay.
Craig, how about yourself, sir?
Myself. Well, let's see. First, I would like to say that it was Pete Mancini, the listener, who came up with these rules that we're using prediction-wise.
This iteration, yes, but over time, others have.
But I'm just saying.
Many have
the rules we have been using for a couple years now.
Yes, Pete put the final touches on it.
He did. Okay. Anyway, I had this thought when I bought the game, and it took about 3 or 4 months, but I finally got Karen to play Vikings on board.
Excellent.
And she loved it. Mm-hmm. She said it might be her new favorite game, but it burned her brain. Oh. She felt like she was playing chess, which is kind of what we said when we were playing a two-player.
That's how I feel.
And so that was awesome. Colt Express, I couldn't be happier with the way that's going. I finally got that to the table with Reese and Karen, and they loved it. We played it a couple times. I don't know why Reese latched onto the idea that there's a librarian somewhere, but I must have said it at one point, and every time we talked about it, are we going to play with the librarian yet? And the first time we played it, we didn't use the stagecoach, so no librarian. And then he was like, can we play with the librarian? So we finally played with the librarian, and he didn't want the librarian. I think he picked the banker instead, or so one of those. And then the way that they do winter concerts this year, they split it up so that all of the freshmen and juniors go for 1 hour and a half block to listen to winter music, and then all of the juniors and the sophomores and the seniors go to listen to the same concert the next block. So I have an hour and a half. That works great for most teachers, but in theater I have all 4 grade levels all in one class. So this year it just happened to work out that of my 21 students in the morning, only 6 of them stayed behind because the rest of them were supposed to go and listen to the concert. And so I gave them a bunch of different options, and they chose Colt Express, and they loved it. Even the kids who were like, I don't know, and they saw me set it up, and they're like, oh, this looks like it's going to be lame. And then by the end, they're like, I shoot you, and then I shoot you, and then I jump across, and they were loving it. And then the next block, there were only 5 kids left of the whole class, and so I got to play. So I got to play it 2 more times, and it's such a fun game. So simple and fast, and it's perfect for that kind of thing. And then with the second group, we ended early, and we started to play Timeline with it, which is that really simple game. Yep. And the principal walked in, and I had an awkward moment, and then he was like, wait a minute, what is this? And he loves any chance to prove that he's smart. So he jumped in and was playing with us. Excellent. So that was in another class, I played Christmas Werewolf, where they demanded I make it all Christmassy. So all of the deaths were Christmassy, and all the descriptions were Christmassy. For Christmas, Karen did a great job for Reese. I got Forks, but Reese got a lot of great stuff, including Star Wars Risk.
Ooh, now this is the one that looks like a TIE fighter, right?
It is. It's the one that looks like a TIE Advanced fighter. Right. And it's really cool. It's really cool. It's not Risk at all. So it's really odd that they were able to tack that name onto it. It's not even like opposed die rolls or anything. You're just basically, if you bring in X-Wings against a bunch of TIE fighters, you're rolling 1 die per X-Wing, and TIE fighters have a set number that you need to hit to destroy them. And if you hit that, they're destroyed. And the whole thing revolves around the Death Star 2, which is in the middle of the board. And of course, as the rebels, you can't attack that until the shield goes down. And one of the wings of the TIE Advanced is the ground component on Endor that are trying to get to the shield. And on that level, if you're the Empire, you can kind of put ambushes in the way to slow them down. Right. So you've got to choose what's going on over there. And then on the Death Star, you have Luke and Vader are having the saber duel. And whoever kills the other one is going to get a massive advantage in action cards when that happens. But if you manage to whittle Vader down to the last 3 of any one of the last 3 of his wounds, and you have the right card in your hand, you can redeem him, which then immediately gives you 5 bonus actions in 1 round, which it will basically win you the game. And so it's
Risk.
It's not Risk at all, is what I'm saying. It has
I know.
Why? Other than because it's called Star Wars Risk,
and it's 2 players.
I know,
right?
But why do you think they named it that? I don't get it.
For the money?
For the name recognition. Yeah. Apparently, Star Wars isn't brand recognition enough. You have to tack Risk onto it.
Right, exactly.
That's kind of what I'm wondering.
Well, no, what I'm saying is that Risk got the Star Wars name.
Yeah.
And probably somebody at Lucas, because it's been around for a long time before Disney, I think.
Said, don't make it
probably,
suck.
Yeah, probably went, you better not make it suck. Right. And so it's no... what was that game that just came out that had the little plastic Death Stars and everything? And
Rebellion?
Star Wars Rebellion?
Yeah, Rebellion.
Yeah, it's no Rebellion. This game is supposed to take about half hour to an hour.
Is it 2 players? Right, it's 2 players.
And it is 2 players, but there's a 4-player variant that I didn't even look at.
Teams. The classic.
But yeah,
turn a 2-player game into 4 with teams. Everybody's doing it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't think it's teams though. I think it's really like as the Death Star. One of the things you can do is take out like one of the major rebel ships. And if the ship hasn't launched all its fighters, all the fighters go down with it. The whole thing revolves around these cards, and they're action cards, and every card gives you at least 2 choices, and sometimes 3. One of them will be Endor, one of them will be any of array of different fighter options as the good guys, and one of them will be like Luke trying to battle Vader. And then as the Empire, there's Death Star cards, there's Executor cards, there's TIE Fighter cards, there's Endor ambush cards, and there's Darth Vader. Oh, there's also an Emperor card where he can just force lightning Luke for a couple points of damage.
And why not?
And why not? And it's very cool. It was a lot of fun. I hope Reese wants to play it again. Excellent. He won, so he should want to play it again. Then there was also Ticket to Ride First Journey, which I don't know how long that's been out, but that is a children's version of Ticket to Ride, which is a simplified map and simplified rules, but the same basic game, because the game's not that complex to start with. My problem is that they obviously were so eager to make this seem like a children's game that all of the rules are on one double-sided sheet. And I would have preferred to have. I'm reading it, and there's things I don't know, and I think they were depending on some knowledge of the main game, like what's supposed to remain hidden and what's supposed to be public knowledge, and so it's a fun game. I mean, it's for all intents and purposes, it's watered down Ticket to Ride. Reese loved it, so that's good. And then I finally got a chance to get Dead Zone 2nd Edition to the table.
Now, what'd you think?
So yesterday, there was a bunch of Dead Zone being played. I played Dave, and Ian and Andy played. So we had the games going on side by side. So it was a lot of cool terrain. Ian's got a lot of he works at the shop now, so they've got all kinds of industrial spraying opportunities. So he's not only that, but his terrain is very subtly colored to match his plague guys. So it's they're shedding slime all over the world.
That's cool.
It's neat. So what do I think? Well, let's see. There's no more Overwatch, which we knew, and I'm like, nah. Having played the game, I'm okay with that. Having been on the business end of a Enforcer sniper rifle, yeah, I'm okay with the fact that he has to spend an action to shoot it. The suppression that we loved isn't really there anymore, Russ, but there is a combination of things that make some weapons able to still basically do the same thing. So it's not really a universal rule that anybody can do anymore, but you can take the option of either shooting to wound or shooting to suppress, and it's much easier to shoot to suppress, and then they're pinned, which makes them take one of their short actions the next time they activate. But there's no hose down an entire square for anybody. There is that option for some weapons, and to the best of my knowledge, looking over the lists, every faction has at least one weapon that can do that. So if that's kind of the way you want to go, you can do that. The thing that I noticed that I hadn't even thought about, because I was concerned with the suppression and I was concerned with the Overwatch. I was also concerned with the cards, because all those cool ability cards that you had that gave you, every card had 2 options on it. If you remember those little bonuses. Right. Now instead you have those order dice that you roll every turn, and you can boost the number of order dice you have if you want to spend more money on your command model and stuff like that. Those were neat, and it was very quick, very, you could just roll them. The icons are very clear in what they mean. You set them aside, and then you spend those dice over the course of your turn to do extra stuff and kind of pump your guys up. And it's cool. You can re-roll if you have half your models or more on the board. So there's a lot of cool little things that kind of nod in that general direction. The one thing that I didn't like, that I hadn't even thought about, was the cards that the deck of cards that first edition gave you worked in 3 different ways. You had the action cards, you had the actual unit cards, so you had all your stats there ready to go. And last night we were scribbling on paper, people were looking up apps on their phones. So the cards really did a nice job at that. Now I'm sad that they went away for that.
Why do you think they did that?
Because it's much cheaper for them. They're not printing decks of cards every time they're just one less thing for them to track, one less thing that they have to update. You will see, I believe, this should be one of my predictions, and it wasn't. Oh, maybe I'll filter it in. more and more companies going away from printed cards.
Privateer Press.
Well, yeah, but
already announced.
why don't they do what War Machine does and create the digital card?
Because they weren't really central to the game.
Oh,
and that requires a lot. I don't notice that much constant engagement from Mantic. They have so many things going on all at the same time. They're doing, they're doing this Kickstarter, that Kickstarter, the other Kickstarter. This year, they've declared that they're going to be more, more brick and mortar store friendly by not doing as many Kickstarters, but they're still going to do Kickstarter. So they're like really, really, really busy.
It sounds like they're Mantic.
Yeah, they are Mantic. Yeah, so I think they got rid of that. But they got the dice that do that, and that's awesome because all you got to do is change like something in a book or online, and you've got a new command ability because those dice work differently for every commander in the game. So that's cool. They've got a little personal tweak that they add to the dice. But the one thing that those old cards used to do is every faction came with faction specific missions. So the enforcers, who are always kick-ass and super hard to kill, but always super, super, super outnumbered, didn't have take-and-hold missions. They might have had like one take-and-hold mission in all their options, and you always had a couple options to choose from. Because they don't have enough models to just sit still. They have to be constantly moving. So most of their missions were like take out specific models or things like that. The Rebs, who are, you're going to have a lot of models, but they're going to go down to harsh language, would have more, they didn't have like go up and fight people. They had maybe assassinate one specific character or grab territory or grab supplies. And so every one of the factions had missions that were kept secret during the game and then revealed at the end. And those missions were tailored to that specific faction. And I never noticed any that were really out of balance. So that was a very cool thing about the game that I obviously took for granted because I didn't even think of it till last night.
Yeah.
What's that?
That's gone now, right?
Yeah, that's gone completely. Yeah. Now it's just 6. I believe it's 6 generic missions.
Yeah, I didn't want to be
and those missions are the same for everybody, and they're public knowledge,
which was awesome. And now it's not that.
Yeah, that got really watered down.
Does the game feel unique anymore? I feel like all the rules that made it unique are gone. Does it?
No, I mean I liked it. I had fun.
All right.
I'm trying to think about. I mean, other than the mission, the mission was much more standard miniatures game mission. You're right about that.
Yeah, right.
Yes.
Do you think I'd like it?
I would not even begin to presume what Raef, Granger, Esquire would like or not like. I have failed in that task so often before that I wouldn't even. I don't know. I mean, you should, I think, but you might not. So, and it depends. I mean, when Dave and I last night, like top of the game, he had a sniper in a tower. He was taking out a model in action. He had all the right command dice. He got 3 shots in one round, 2 guys dead, boom, boom, like that. I was like, well, this game's over before it even began. But then the weight of numbers started to tell, and I couldn't hurt him. Like I was wounding him, but that's another thing that's more specific in the second edition than I really like is that you're wounded and then you die. So there were a lot of wounded enforcers running around, but I couldn't kill anybody. And then I launched a grenade up into the tower and blew him off the tower. And falling was awesome because there's like 2 models in the entire enforcer guide that don't have jetpacks. And the sniper was one of those because he was trying to save a point here or there. And so the guy fell off a 3-story tower and cracked his head on a giant, on a car. Actually, he landed on a police car. And so that was my first kill of the game. And that came like halfway through the game. So it was neat. And your command ability is cool because you got a 1 in 6 chance of getting the Mantic company logo on your command dice. And that's where your commander's ability comes into play. Dave had not really looked carefully at it, or actually he did look carefully. He misunderstood one little sentence. The enforcers have the Pathfinders, who are the scouts, have a gun called a tag rifle, and they have an ability that when they shoot at somebody, anybody else with a tag rifle has +1 die against that target for the rest of the round. And Dave, I think actually he was given the wrong information because he didn't have his own book. And he thought that everyone in his force would get that +1 die, not other people with tag rifles. And he only had one. His command ability was to spend a Mantic logo symbol and automatically tag any model in my army that he wanted for every for every logo that he spent. And he did that, but then when we looked it up, it didn't do anything because he didn't have a single tag rifle in his whole army.
Oops.
Yeah, so that sucked. Meanwhile, I had this awesome infiltrator guy who every splat that I spent meant that my model who had just moved could not be targeted by any ranged attacks for the rest of the round.
Wow.
So I had a big giant mutant alien turtle in the middle of the board with no cover at all that couldn't be shot at because of my command ability, which was cool. But then he went in there with hand-to-hand guys because they're really good at that also, and it became a massive fight in the middle of the board, which was cool because then I fired another grenade in there, knowing that it probably wouldn't hurt my turtle, and I blew everybody out of the square that the primary objective was in and knocked them all off the bridge, and then had a guy like run back in there and take that. So
did you win?
I think I won by like 1 point, which was it was at the beginning I thought there was no way I was going to win, and then at the end I won by 1 point because of the way that my army was working and the fact that he had that one that splat ability can be huge depending on which commander you take, and because he didn't have that to lean back on at all. And attrition with only 6 models against my 13, eventually things went in my favor. But I had a lot of fun.
Cool.
I don't think it's as cool and innovative as it used to be.
Yeah.
I think they streamlined it a lot. And I think they're doing this weird thing that from reading, and I won't talk too much about Warpath Firefight, which I got all that stuff from that Kickstarter recently. And it like force creation seems to be a very like they want you to spend all kinds of time and effort on force creation. Mm-hmm. And it's like, and no longer is it like this model comes with this weapon and that's how much it costs, so you just go ahead and use it. Now it's like this model has all these different options, and yeah, we don't make any of them, but you can get all these different weapons if you want to use them, or if you want to convert all these different models and all this other stuff. And so it's a lot more complicated than it used to be.
Is WYSIWYG still a thing, or can you just say he's got whatever you want?
I believe WYSIWYG is a thing. I haven't looked that carefully at the rules, to be honest. And that, like, I'm sure that's at the very beginning section, and I skipped to the, like, if you're a veteran gamer, start here kind of thing. So, but I had a lot of fun, and a lot of everybody who was playing it or watching it last night all said how cool it would be to do a campaign, which with our group, God knows if that'll even get off the ground. Right. Never mind finish.
No, I'm making that prediction right now.
But yeah, okay, you can add one. Bonus point. No dead zone campaign. But I had fun. I enjoyed it, and it was the first time in a long time that I got to hang out with a lot of the guys all at the same time. Ian was there, Justin was there, Matt was there. Christian Christian and Dave both did, but Dave's texts are very cryptic. They both texted me to make sure that I could make dinner, and so it was a lot of fun. It was like a blast from the past, except for you two weren't there. Well, but that's okay because there were only 8 seats at the sushi table anyway.
Well, there you go.
It worked out.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's a joke. It didn't work out. We would have found 2 more chairs. Give me a break. That's it for me. Russ, how about yourself?
Real quick, I got to play quite a bit of stuff over this little holiday break here. Got in Summoner Wars with my youngest daughter. She still loves that game. We broke it out, had a blast with that.
Talk about the blast from the past.
Still a great game. I played a lot on my iOS devices, but it's great. The physical version is just a lot of fun. And I forgot I have so many decks from that game. It's fun. We just start going through, picking the armies you want to play. There's just so many choices. It's great. Also played another game of our ongoing Risk Legacy campaign featuring the entire Wakeland household. And my youngest daughter has won that again. We are on like our 8th game of that. She still keeps winning. I keep getting decimated. Might have something.
Is that because they're ganging up on you?
Partly, and partly it's that I keep going for Australia, and they all know my plan, and so it's I like someone who's an idiot because keeps doing the same thing, expecting different results. They all get me every time. But still having a lot of fun. I love all the unlocks we've gotten and the new factions and everything. It's just a lot of fun. Speaking of legacy games, also have played 2 more games of Seafall in our Seafall campaign. And I know Seafall is getting mixed reviews. I am really enjoying Seafall. I think it's fantastic. This is the additional legacy game where you open things up as you play the game and change the game permanently every time you play. But this one, you are all essentially, it's sort of like the legacy version of Merchants and Marauders. You're traders, you're pirates, you're whatever you want to be, exploring the world, discovering new islands, putting big island stickers on the board as you find new places. A lot of fun. I'm still really enjoying that one, too. Also, played another game of War Machine with my oldest daughter, Rose, and barely won that one. In Mark III, Gristle is still shut down Kaya with her Concaphony song, and so that's what saved me. She got Kaya in on Gristle again. She picked up Shifting Stones now. Shifting Stones combined with Kaya are just nasty. Pretty much circle me anywhere they want instantly. But Gristle's ability to shut them down when they get there is what saved me against that one.
Can they teleport and then move?
No, they cannot.
I didn't think so.
So that's the good news. But the bad news is if you leave your Warcaster anywhere not remotely protected, you basically, your entire army shows up and you got one turn before you're dead. Pretty much.
I see.
But I'm getting better at trying to draw her in and fake her out. And she starts, now we're playing this cat and mouse game where she sees them trying to do that, and so she counter, it's really interesting. Also, on the fun side, so Christmas Day, normally my family does this weird thing where I think a lot of families probably do this. We end up going to about 80 people's houses between Christmas Eve and Christmas Day. You go to your friend's house Christmas Eve, and then Christmas Day, you go maybe to your brother's and your dad's and all this other stuff. So it turned out, though, that my dad had to cancel, unfortunately, due to illness. So we ended up with this whole...
He's okay.
Yeah, he's fine, but just a little sick.
Okay.
So we're there. We got the whole afternoon free. So John's family and my family, we just hung out. And my mother-in-law was there for a while. We just played games all day. The kids played D&D in the basement. We played board games. We played Exploding Kittens with my mother-in-law. Exploding Kittens is a great little card game that Craig and I picked up on the way back from Adepticon. Basically, the goal of this game, it's kind of like a fancy Go Fish with cats. And basically, your goal is to not get the exploding kitten. If you do, you are out. But the interesting thing is each player starts with a hand of cards, plus you each start with a diffuse card. If you get an exploding kitten on the draw, you can survive if you play a diffuse card. But once you play your diffuse card, the diffuse card is gone. But the cool part is then you take the exploding kitten card you just got, and you can put it under the table with the deck, and you can now choose where in the draw deck the exploding kitten is going to be. So I can put it on the top of the draw deck. So, Raef, if you're the next player, you're going to get an exploding kitten. Mm-hmm. Or I could put it like 2 or 3 cards down and try to target who's going to get hit with the next exploding kitten. However, there are then these cards, you can play pairs of them to pull cards out of other people's hands. If you play 3 of a kind, you can call a card type. This is where it's like Go Fish. And I can say, I got 3 of a kind, Craig. If you have a diffuse card, you must give it to me. And I can strip him of his diffuse card and get it for myself. So it's a very simple game. There's very few rules. It's funny because the illustrations and the language on the cards are very silly, over the top, like barfing unicorns, all kinds of crazy things. It's very weird. Like if you want to see into the future, you can eat a unicorn enchilada, and then you can look at the top 3 cards in the draw pile and kind of know what's coming. So weird stuff like that, but it's a lot of fun, and it's super simple. You learn the rules in like 15 minutes. Great fun. We had a lot of fun with that. And then, so my brother has this thing where he is not a magpie gamer, as you both know.
No,
he likes to play one game and stick with it. So
yeah,
we had the whole Christmas afternoon here. My brother's like, okay, we're going to pick one game. I'm like, okay. I brought a bunch of simple ones up because I knew he was in the mood for a heavy game. And he picked Camel Up. He's going to play Camel Up. And so we played 3 games of Camel Up, and it was awesome. We had a great time. And by the 3rd game, we thought we had it all figured out. Those crazy camels, they always surprise you. It is something again. It was just a lot of fun. We had an absolute blast with just a base game of Camel Up. Had a great time. And then we ended the day with a lot of Jackbox TV, which if you have not played Jackbox TV with a big crowd, you should. It is hilarious.
What is Jackbox TV?
So Jackbox TV is what I would call freaking brilliant. So it is an app available for your computer on Steam, or you can get it on any of the consoles. Okay. And what's cool about it is it runs on your console, and the game that made it famous, but it's actually a box of games. Each edition comes with a bunch of little mini games you can play. The one that made it famous is Drawful. And what happens is on the screen is a code. And they tell you, everybody pull out your iPhone, your smartphones, it could be an Android phone too, and go to jackbox.tv on your web browser and put this code in. And as soon as you do, you're all entered in the lobby of the game. And now, so everybody in the room, and it handles like 8, 10, 15. Some of these games handle 40 players. So you can have the entire Christmas house just standing, all the kids standing in front of the TV playing the game. And there's different mini games. Drawful is kind of like Pictionary, where each player is secretly on their phone given a phrase. And it might be, dancing pirate or something, right? And then you draw the picture on your phone. They're all sent to the whatever big screen you're all looking at. So in your console, you see it on the screen, or if it's your PC computer or whatever. Then what happens is it picks one of the pictures randomly, and it shows. Then it asks everybody in the on your phone to type in what you think the picture is, right? And then it shows the picture, and it says, okay, now pick which one you think was. Then it shows all the things people typed in. So let's say Raef drew a crazy rocket ship, and so now all of us type in what we think that rocket ship was supposed to be. So Craig might type in rocket ship, I might type in pencil, or whatever it is. Then the game shows on the screen all the choices people typed in, and everybody now in the audience has to guess which one was the right one, and players get points if they guessed the wrong ones, right? That's Drawful. Really simple, really fast, hilariously fun. We played another new one, which was awesome. It was Murder Mystery Trivia. And so what happens in this game is it's done up. It's all themed like it's a horror movie, and you're asked the trivia question, right? And so all the players are asked the trivia question. It could be anything, right? Ask you and you get to answer it. Whoever is wrong in the first round has to now try to survive and not be killed. And to not be killed, you go into a challenge mode where there's something like a little competitive thing. But in the first challenge mode, all the losers have to cut off a finger, and when you cut off a finger, it shows all the fingers getting cut off. And then you can no longer pick that answer because every question is multiple choice with 5 answers. But if you cut off your third picture, you figure you can never pick C again in the game, which is just kind of funny. And then it goes on in different rounds, and people die for answering questions wrong. It's just, I don't even know how to describe that game, but it is awesome. The theming is fantastic. Jackbox TV, check it out. You will love it. And it's more of a computer game, but it's a great party, fantastic digital party game.
I'll write that down.
Yeah, definitely.
All
right. So that's regular games. Now let's go to modeling. Craig, let's go to Raef again, the guest. Raef, what have you been modeling lately? Anything?
I have been modeling nothing. I think about painting my Shadows of Brimstone party. Okay. But I don't. Instead, I do stuff in other.
All right, we'll get to that in a minute. How about yourself, Craig?
I have done nothing recently, although I did order some stuff from Warlord, including the next cool walker that I want to have done for our big thing at Captain Con.
Excellent.
And I ordered something else that then a friend of mine gave me for Christmas. And I found out that they gave it to me basically because I was talking to them the day I put in the order with Warlord, and they're like, "Oh my God, you didn't do that! I got you that!" I was like, "Oh crap!" So I went back and emailed them and was like, "I'm really sorry, but I just got this for Christmas." And within 12 hours, they got back to me. Lorenzo was the customer service guy's name. Hello, Lorenzo. I promised I'd give a shout out. Because they were awesome. They once again, I had that one bad experience years ago, and yet again, another game company just like really being awesome. And he responded like, "Thank you very much. Don't worry. We've already credited your account. We probably don't have enough time to get it out of the box. So if it comes to you and it has it in it, think of that as an extra Christmas gift."
Wow.
And thanks for shopping at Warlord. Now, interestingly enough, they clearly did have time to take it out. Because when I got it, I was like, "Oh, this will be up." No, but it was a unique thing for my secret project, and you can't really have 2 of these anyway, so not that big a deal. But I did get that walker, and I got Russ. I got the Beyond the Gates of Antares APC drone.
Ooh, nice, excellent.
So,
cool.
So I'm ready to kick that game up another notch when the next time we play.
Excellent.
And that's all the modeling I've done. What about you, Russ?
I've been doing a little dabbling. So I've been working on my Troll Bloods wagon, which is their battle engine, if you will. And it's awesome. I'm having a lot of fun with it. And I got the wagon itself done, but there's still the 2 oxen and the crew of 5. So this is quite the project.
Wow.
But just in time for Christmas, I got the entire set of my family was fantastic. They got me the entire set of Vallejo Model Air paints. So I've been using airbrushes to do things quickly like this wagon or things with larger surface area. And I wanted to try airbrushing the Troll Bloods crew because I really felt like you could do them quickly and it would still look cool because they're so organic. And now that I have this set, I'll have all the cool reds because my trolls are red. So I have all the cool reds now and do all that crazy stuff I can do with them. So I'm really excited to try that out there. And also, Craig, this is sort of an aside, but I know you like Colt Express. You got to check this out. So we are big fans of Colt Express as well, my whole family. And my wife somehow noticed that there was a Kickstarter from our friends at Meeple Source for specific Colt Express meeples.
Oh,
and
cool. Wait, I have to pause you there.
Yeah.
Craig, is Colt Express the game we played in your basement with Russ?
Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
And so now Colt Express comes with meeples, and they're cool little cowboy meeples, and they're all the same, but different colors, right? So what Meeple Source did was they created a set of special Colt Express meeples that have been custom, and I just got them in. So I literally just got them right before Christmas, and I was able to look at them, and it's really, really cool because each of the meeples features the art of the character from the game card on the meeple, and the meeples aren't all cut the same. They're cut exactly the right shape so that the person's hat is correct and their weapon arm is correct, and it includes all the major characters from the game, plus the sheriff, plus the stagecoach driver, plus all new horses, and all the art is on the side of the horse. Really, really fun. Kicks the game up a notch. Really, really cool. I like the Colt Express meeples from Meeple Source.
That sounds awesome.
With them.
And are they available now, or are they still just from Kickstarter?
They were from the Kickstarter, I think. I don't know. You can go to meeplesource.com and check it out. They do offer a crazy ton of meeples. I don't know if the Colt Express ones are still available for regular order, but they are really cool. Next time we game, I'll bring them along so you check them out. So that is modeling. What about other stuff, Raef?
Well, the other stuff for me, too, is limited in number but broad in scope. So for reading, I've been on a business book kick. I'm reading a book called The Compounding Effect, if anybody's interested in that business-wise. It's called Jumpstart Your Income, Your Life, Your Success. And basically the premise of the book is success comes if you do all the little things, or not even little, if you do things consistently over time, and that sometimes it can take a long time for the success to be shown, and most of us kind of bail out, way before the success would come in. So they talk about dieting, for example, something as simple as if you take 200 calories out of your diet, just 200, track your calories, take 200 out, something like in 36 months, you'll drop like 30 pounds, but it takes that amount of time. You won't see the results in 8 weeks, kind of thing. I've
heard that before. The theory is it's less about goals than it is about habits. So try to get your habits correct, and the goals will follow, kind of thing.
Yeah, and it doesn't have to be this big momentous leap. It can be a very small change, but done repeatedly over time. On whatever it is you're focusing on. So it's kind of neat. I'm also reading a business book called The Greatest Salesman in the World, which is kind of interesting there. And let's see, fun. I've been playing a little bit of WoW, and that's taken a back seat to playing. I'm playing a lot of Tom Clancy's The Division.
Oh, I like
and
it.
Oh man, I am just having so much fun with that. It's, for whatever reason, it's hitting all the sweet spots for me of fun. So it's an online MMO shooter, and it's one of the Clancy games that's not single bullet, single kill. I don't do so well as that because I'm not as skilled with a controller. So this one is, if you don't like the idea that the enemy's going to take, 35 machine gun bullets to the body before they drop, you will not like The Division. But the story's great. Do you know the story, Russ? Do you remember the story?
Not deep. No, I never really got it. I don't like the Tom Clancy games, as you know, because they're too realistic for me.
Yeah. This one could be too. I'm not sure. You are a division agent, which is a branch of Homeland Security. And the terrorists have unleashed what they call the dollar flu, which is they've got smallpox attached to dollar bills, which they then disseminate on Black Friday. And it wipes out all of New York City. And you appear in the game as the second wave of division agent. You don't know what happened to the first wave. And the division agents are not just military. They're paramedics, firefighters, police, nurses, doctors, computer scientists. They're not just all military types. But you have a gun, and sort of you appear on a helicopter into this totally decimated city that's been wiped out by by the smallpox, and your job is to help restore order, basically. And so it's a storyline that grabs me. It's kind of fun, and my character's at max level. I play a lot with Andy, so he and I go around and we do different missions that take multiple players to complete. But it's also very playable on a single mode. And for Christmas, I got 2 downloadable contents. One's a survival version of the game where you get put into New York and you just have a pistol and you have no clothes and it's a snowstorm. So you have to find clothes so you don't freeze to death. That's part of the survival. You have limited ammo and you have to like get this antivirus thing and then extract it. In the meantime, you have to survive. So
now I have a question for you.
Yeah.
So you got that for Christmas?
Yes.
Now, did you have to ask for that for Marisa, or did Marisa do some digging and figure out that like that would be something you would like?
No, what Marisa and I do, because we're both picky, like she wouldn't know, oh, I want the second alternative sculpt for Shadows Over Brimstone. So we each trade each other a list, and we get really specific in even where to order it from.
Gotcha.
So this was a little handwritten coupon brought by Santa in my stocking that said,
"Oh, very clever."
A coupon to download The Division. And so then I waited till Christmas to do it. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Nice.
Okay.
That's how we do that.
Thank you. I will take note of that.
Mm-hmm. A lot of times too, she'll go off book and she'll get me these great gifts that I don't think are great in the moment. I remember one, she bought me like a parka. I opened it up and I'm like, you got me a jacket? Like, that's weird. It's like the best jacket I've ever owned. It's like so warm and the pockets are fleece lined and it's a parka, so my butt's not cold. I mean, it's like awesome. And then another time, a couple years ago, she bought me a frying pan. And the frying pan... a frying pan.
Okay.
And it's apparently a super high-end one. I don't even know the cost of it. But the handle has the welded-on handle from the outside. Because whenever I would make eggs, I would always complain about like the bolts. You know, like the eggs stick to the bolts in the cheaper-made frying pans. So anyway, it's like the best cooking utensil I've ever used. Like, I understand why chefs have such great gear. You know, it's like it cooks the way it's supposed to cook. Medium
so
heat.
That was a good gift for you also.
Oh my God, I love it. So like I complained when I get it. And then 3 months later, I'm like, okay, I take it back. I literally love this frying pan.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
excellent.
So that's how that works. Now, when I go off script and try to buy off script from Marisa, I fail incredibly. I'd like buy her a frying pan and she'd want to hit me in the head with it. But
okay, got it. Thank you. Carry on.
All right.
That's it. A lot of The Division.
Excellent. How about you, Craig?
Well, let's see. I am still listening to Severed Streets by Paul Cornell, which is an awesome kind of urban fantasy set in London, where these police officers who knew nothing about the supernatural in the first book, London Falling, are now introduced to this whole world of the supernatural that exists. And there's no like werewolves or vampires or anything like that. It's more that the human subconscious creates this reservoir of energy that is used by certain people who have these gifts, or there's these little creatures that exist because the human subconscious gives them existence. And these cops now have this second sight, so they can see all this stuff that was always there, but they didn't know about it. I love the world. I love the characters. This story is fantastic. There's one thing that is like bizarre to me, and when I went and looked at the reviews for this new book, the Severed Streets, one review was a 1-star review, and I was like, wow, somebody gave it a 1-star review, and the complaint turns out very legitimate, which was this person was either a person who had struggled with drug addiction or a loved one had struggled with drug addiction, and he felt that the book dealt with drug addiction in a very cavalier way, or meth use, not drug addiction, but meth use. And I have to agree with him. It's bizarre. I won't spoil anything about why they're doing this, but they decide they can't sleep. And so, I mean, that's something that in horror movies happens all the time. So everybody comes up with all kinds of different ways to have to stay awake until you can defeat the big baddie or do whatever you have to do without sleeping. And these guys start using meth. And so we're like 3 days into this story arc right now where these cops are all on meth 24 hours a day. And it's really, other than the fact that they're not sleeping and their judgment is a little skewed, it's not having much else as an effect on them. And it's very strange to me that this would be sort of an angle that an author would go in. It's odd, but I still love the whole story and the world that he's creating and everything else. So that's awesome. I've been reading up on the Warpath Firefight rules from Mantic, and I wanted to get Tim Colonna, our local gamer and friend of the show, is a giant fan of Mantic and kind of like one of their Pathfinder guys that goes out and stirs up trouble for local game stores by trying to get everybody interested in Mantic stuff. And he did a bunch of demos last night, and I wanted to get in there, but I didn't have time with all the Dead Zone stuff, which is also Mantic. And I don't know. It's not really grabbing me, so I need someone else to show me the rules in action, because there's some things that are confusing me. And it looks like just sort of a basic sci-fi miniatures game rule set, and then there's another layer underneath it, and I don't know if it's awesome and I'm missing it, or if it's confusing for confusion's sake. So I'm hoping that I can get Tim to show me eventually. I still I've got the entire Kickstarter, so again, I'm kind of hoping. Let's see. I'm watching Man in the High Castle, which I've only seen one episode, so I'll let Russ talk more about that. But
I want to hear about that.
I'm really enjoying that. I'm all caught up on Timeless. I thought the mid-season finale was awesome. Russ, are you all caught up on Timeless?
I am all caught up on Timeless. Yes, I thought it was really
what did you think about that cliffhanger at the end there?
Loved it. So I can't wait for the next one.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
So
I watched the what's the first one called? The pilot.
Yeah,
and I liked it. I liked the premise, but I got bored halfway through, being like, this is the standard like military guy who's going to solve things by force, and I don't know.
You need to give it like 2 or 3 more episodes for the characters to break out of their stereotypes.
Yes.
Okay, that's good.
Because then not only do they all start breaking out of their stereotypes, but they get thrown into situations that play against their stereotypes or play for their stereotypes, but they're not really their stereotypes. So I mean, just imagine the African American guy getting thrown into a situation with Abraham Lincoln. You know, and the way they deal with him and all the different time periods they go through is awesome. Also, very eye-opening, very intriguing.
That's a great way to say it. Is they were all locked into their stereotypes. Got it.
Yeah. In the first, that's what they're doing, right? In the first episode, they establish those stereotypes, and then any half-decent narrative will then consciously break those characters out of their stereotypes.
Right. It's really.
I think
really,
that's
really
what
good.
happens.
Yeah, I would stick with it, Raef. It's really good. Our family loves it.
Yeah.
It's our favorite show right now. Like when we go to sit down in the evening together as a family to watch something, it's always, is there a new Timeless out yet? And that's what we'll go to.
Okay.
I'm really enjoying it. Walking Dead still hasn't lost me completely. So the most of the episodes after the first episode that was a bit much. I'm still watching those and enjoying watching where it's going. I don't feel at all emotionally connected to it anymore, which is probably better. And then Rogue One, which we talked ad nauseum about, and Dunkin' Donuts. So I don't want to talk too much about it, except that they have this thing called 4D now. You heard about this?
Does it have smell? How does that work?
That is smell and mist and all kinds of other stuff that gets added into the theater, and your seat moves, and every time you get the main character on screen is getting shot at and ducking, your chair jerks, or if somebody gets hit with a bolter blast, something in the back of your seat punches you in the back. It seems like really I wanted to. My cousin did it. And he's not even a huge Star Wars fan, and he said it was phenomenal. He would never want to see a movie of that type again that way. He said as they were splashing through the beaches on Scarif, he said like water was splashing in your face, and you could smell smoke in the air. And
so where near?
It's in Revere, Mass.
Revere, Mass
is I think the closest one to us.
That might be a thing. My wife and I were just talking about we want to see it again. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, that's from what my cousin says and everything I've been able to find out, that's kind of like the next level. You know, I mean, and it sounds to me like a Disney ride. So
they've done those at theme parks.
Win-win for you.
You're right, exactly.
And then playing some more things. Playing on the Wii U, Reese got Super Mario Brothers 3D, and we've actually been playing that a lot. Karen loves those kind of games. It's basically Super Mario Brothers, but it's 3D.
See, now
So it's like an updated version.
I missed this prediction, and yet here it is. Here it is,
see,
Raef.
there you go.
See what
You
happens.
missed it.
I missed it by a year.
But again, I did not buy myself a game.
That's fair. All right. Fine.
So that's what you said.
That is true.
Foreshadowing. And but he loves it. And then on Christmas, my cousin or my niece actually had an app called Akinator. Have you heard about Akinator?
Yes.
Why do you say it like that?
Well, no, go ahead. It's fine.
Well,
I've not heard of it.
Okay, then I'm going to talk to Raef for a little while because clearly Russ is being judgmental.
No, it's fine. It's all good.
Akinator, Raef, is a game on an app where you have an idea in your head about they call them characters, but it can be any person, living, dead, fictional, or real. And then it basically asks there's no set number of questions, but it asks you questions, and it's all obviously got an algorithm, and it's narrowing down who you're thinking about. And then it will tell you if it has a guess. It'll say, I have a guess, and then it tells you who it thinks it is. And the first ones we were doing were all very, George Washington and stuff like that. And then somebody did something that was really obscure, and it got that. And I was like, oh, I want to do it. And so I got in my head, I had Polgara, the sorceress from the Belgariad.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
By David Eddings. That was from the 80s, right? So that's not out there in common parlance. And so I did that. And the questions were hilarious because she's like 3,000 years old. And she's a sorceress, and is she a human? I don't know, and all this So I'm answering all these questions, and in like 18 or not even that, like in about 10 questions, it said, "I have a guess, Polgara." No way!
Wow,
insane.
That's pretty cool.
So, and it was fun, and it was a fun game, and I don't care what Russ has to say about it. Russ, go ahead. I want to know what's going on in your head right now.
I thought it was a different game.
Oh, what did you think it was?
There's a different
Some
game
kind of gross game.
No. There's a different game that sounds very similar, and all you basically was tap the screen. And my children and wife are addicted to this game, and I can't understand it. So.
Oh no, is that the chicken game that your wife was playing a couple years ago?
Not the chicken game. This one's got fish.
You tap it's not that.
You earn fish, and it sounds like it's not. It sounds like it's Aspeny or something. It sounds like what you said. So
I had to look it up because I didn't know.
Which again, a lot of people like it. I don't understand it, but that's just me.
But I don't understand any of those games where you're just like touching the screen to maintain any kind of livestock.
I need some tactics or something. I just want to
Yeah. Well, Akinator was awesome, and it was crazy. My uncle, who is like a genius, got in his head some ridiculously obscure historical figure from the Revolutionary War. It was like Hamilton's best friend, and he didn't even know half the stuff. And the questions were like, oh, okay. It was really weird because you can see where the algorithm is starting to circle around. And it was, is he known to have been bald? I don't know. Is he known to have had some hair, but not a lot? I don't know. Did he have a full head of hair? I don't know. Did he have a mustache? I don't know. Did he have a full beard? I don't know. I have a guess. And it was just really bizarre. And it took it 3 guesses, actually, to get his. But on the 3rd guess, it got this obscure guy that none of us had ever heard of before. So it was neat, and it's free. So I think I think everyone who's interested in that kind of game should check it out because it was kind of... I mean, that it's just obviously an algorithm that has access to the entire internet, but it was pretty neat.
Cool.
And that's me. What about you, Russ?
All right. Well, real quick again, Man in High Castle. I am really enjoying this series. I think we're on episode 9 in season 2, which I think is the second to last episode. Really, really enjoying it. It gets better the second year even. I think because you know the characters now, so you're starting to get inside of their heads, which is making it really interesting. This, of course, is the show where it's kind of a sci-fi show. That's a bit of a spoiler, but it kind of happens early on because it's an alternate history show. So the premise here is that the Nazis and the Axis, Japan and Germany, have won World War II. It's now like 1960-something. And so they've been in charge, and the United States has been divided. So the eastern half of the United States, roughly, more than half, but most of the eastern United States is owned by Germany, and everything west of the Rockies is owned by Japan. And there's this middle area that's the neutral zone, sort of in the middle of the country there, or kind of down the Rockies, that is owned by neither. And it's really interesting. It's really fascinating. I love the characters. They're starting to play Germany against Japan more in the second season, which is really interesting to see. And they're starting to get into the sci-fi elements, because here's the teaser bit. Right in the very early on in the first season, you discover there's these film reels. And if you watch the film reel, it's an actual film footage, like 8mm film, showing scenes from actual our world history of the U.S. And the Allies winning World War II. And it's like, well, how can that exist? Because they didn't, yet it's there. And in season 2, they double down on this idea that there's something going on there, and that both these realities somehow may have occurred. And it's really interesting. So it's really interesting show. Great watch. Fantastic characters, fantastic acting, great writing. Dark, yet it's got moments in it that make you smile. A really good show. Really like it. Let's see. Also, saw Rogue One. More about that in the last chapter. Also, I got for Christmas, my oldest daughter gave me the new Troll Bloods book, the new Force book. So, Raef, some of the new Force books are hitting the streets now for Mark III. Have you seen any of these yet?
Are you? No. As a matter of fact, I'm still wrestling with what I'm going to do for just the Mark III rules. I'm not sure if I'm going to go the hardbound, do the mini book, just use the PDF. I mean, the new app is so incredible that I'm torn.
I do.
What do you think?
Well, I own the hardcover of both books because that's me. But I do like the stories in there and stuff as well. And the art is fantastic.
I do too. Yeah.
But the new Troll Bloods book is awesome. Rose got it for me for Christmas, and I've been reading through it. I love the art. She also got me the new Madrick figure. I meant to mention this. So Madrick now has gotten rid of his axe because, it's the evil world-ending axe. And now he runs around carrying a giant shield and spears that he throws.
Ah, cool.
He looks like a short impaler. but he's great, and the model is fantastic. So I just got him, and I'm going to try to paint him up, so I'm looking forward to that too. But yeah, the Troll Bloods book is awesome, and we're excited because the Circle book comes out in February. So we're really excited for that. And that brings themes back too, which is nice. So those are pretty cool. Also, I saw the Assassin's Creed movie.
Oh, now I have never played the games, know nothing about it, but the movie looks awesome. Tell me why it's not.
Well, so here's the thing. It's getting panned pretty heavily by the critics. I was all set to not see it. My brother went and saw it. My daughters wanted to see it. They're big Assassin's Creed fans. My wife kind of wanted to see it, which surprised me. I'm like, it's going to suck. I'm like, let's go anyway. Here's the thing. The action scenes in the movie are phenomenal. I thought they were really, really good. I thought the story, for some reason, it made the same mistake that one of the Assassin's Creed games made, which is they spent too much time in the present. So for those who know Assassin's Creed know that the interesting thing about Assassin's Creed is that the majority of these video games take place in the past, like ancient Arab cultures, or it takes place back in the Renaissance, or takes place. There was the Pirate Adventures now, or the American Revolution one. So they take place during a time in history. And most of the game, you play an assassin in these times. But the cool part is that it's actually a sci-fi game. You're actually a person living now in the present, and you're going in this thing called the Animus. And the sort of the sci-fi twist is that inside your DNA somehow are the memories of all your ancestors. And what the Animus lets you do is sort of, in your mind, in the game, relive moments, sort of replay the history of your ancestors in your own mind. And what these guys who run this company do is the history pits the Templars, who are actually bad guys in the Assassin's Creed world, against the assassins, who are actually the good guys hiding in the shadows to protect whatever they're protecting. And what you find out is in the future, and stuff in the video game, it's not really a spoiler, in the future there's this company, the bad guys are running this company, and they're capturing assassins, people who are related to them from history, and running through their memories to find the thing the assassins are protecting to get it, right? So in the movie, they make some changes that are kind of gratuitous and not necessary, but that doesn't really ruin the movie. What really ruins the movie is they try to do too much, and they spend too much time in the future and not enough time in the past, which is where the game and the movie could have been cooler. It would have been so much cooler if they told the story of who the assassins were, and instead they tried to cram in like the entire major plot arc of the Apple of Eden into the entire thing, which really took 3 video games to get through, over like 200 hours of playtime. They tried to cram that into one movie. It would be like they tried to put the Lord of the Rings in one film. And it was a mistake. And it took itself too seriously, and it got all, I don't know. So plot-wise,
your explanation of it, though, was pretty good. Not the movie, but of the whole Animus thing. That was like the clearest I've ever read or heard.
Yeah, have you played Assassin's Creed, Raef?
Oh, yeah, I've played like, I don't know in what order, but maybe 3 games, and then I just got bored of the precept, the concept.
I love it. I got into the pirate one was my absolute favorite one.
You love the pirate one, yeah. I played that one.
The one after, the 2 after were pretty good. One was buggy, but the one after that, the Syndicate, the most recent one, was fantastic. Where you went back between the brother and sister all the time. It was awesome.
I like the Revolutionary War one. Is that the pirate one?
No, that was the one before that, which was also good.
I like that one.
So I wanted to like it a lot. And there were a lot of nods to the video game in there. They did really cool, like panning around the spires of the city. And there was a fantastic carriage race and some great parkour going through the city with combat. I mean, watch it it's worth the price of admission for the combat. Okay, so it is worth it. But you're not going to love the plot. And there's a huge plot hole at the end that makes absolutely no sense. And I don't know what they're thinking. Like a giant WTF, like the kind of not the way it ends, but like. I don't know. There's a hole at the end that I really didn't like. I don't want to spoil it for anybody. But otherwise, watch it for the fighting. That's basically what it's for. Go in with low expectations. You'll be fine.
I'd rather go do the 4D Rogue One.
There you go. That's what I want to do. So have you guys heard of Con Man?
No.
Oh, I want to know what that is. Yeah, okay. What the heck is that?
So I don't know how to pronounce Alan's last name, but Alan Tudyk, I think it's
Tudyk.
Alan Tudyk, who geeks will know him as Wash from Firefly, but he's obviously done other things too. He
like the sarcastic robot from Rogue One.
Yes, like the sarcastic robot from Rogue One. So he has this new mini web series. Well, actually, there's a whole new channel now called Comic Con, where Comic Con is producing some web content, web videos, and there's this one out there called Con Man. Now, I was able to download an Xbox Live for like $1 an episode or something, so I downloaded the first one. Oh my God, is this thing hilarious. So each episode is like 10 minutes. It reminds me of Dr. Horrible in that it's shorts, okay? So each episode, or The Guild maybe, each episode is 10 minutes, but the premise is he's a con man because he goes to conventions. And they won't say the show. He's from some show you've never heard of, but he was the pilot on this sci-fi show. And he goes to these conventions, and his one fan's like, hands him a magazine, and Nathan Fillion's on the cover, and he's like, oh yeah, he's famous. And like the whole thing is the shtick of how he makes money going to cons. It's hilarious. If you're a nerd, you got to watch this show. He is awesome. The premise is fantastic. The situational comedy is off the charts funny.
He's great. Yeah,
it is awesome.
He's in that movie I love too, Dale and Tucker.
Yes,
versus Evil.
Yes, whatever you do, find the show and watch it. It is awesome. It is hilarious. Also, listening to a book, The Dragons of Dor Castle by Jack Campbell. Thank you, Ross Watson. Ross sent us an email not too long ago recommending some books, and my daughter got the books under the tree, and I got it on Audible, and I've been listening to it, and I'm really enjoying it. It's a little bit young adult, but it's really, really good. I'm liking the premise. The premise is that there's this, it's a fantasy setting, but it's kind of like a War Machine fantasy setting because there's guns also, and there's a guild of mages, and there's a guild of, I can't remember what to call them. Are they architects? No. Alchemists? No. But they're like techie dudes, right? So and the two guilds both view themselves above society, but the guilds kind of like don't trust each other. So there's the guild of mages, and there's this guild of mechanics, I guess, the mechanics guild. And these two guilds kind of like are rivals, and then there's this sort of Romeo-Juliet premise where a female mechanic and a male mage kind of get stuck together. And it's pretty good, though. I'm really liking the universe. I'm liking the setup. I'm liking the writing style. Jack Campbell's great. Really enjoying it. So, yeah, Dragons of Dor Castle on Audible. Check it out. Go to d6generation.com and click the Audible link there. And quick video game news, Raef. You're not going to believe this. I own a PS4 came to us from Santa Claus. And
I'm so jealous.
It is now in the house. And included in that is a bunch of older PS4 titles. The reason it came was the girls were expressing interest in The Last Guardian, which is this brand new PS4 exclusive title that they really wanted to try. And so that came, but I am playing, also came with it for some reason, I don't know why, the Uncharted stuff. So Uncharted is like the game on PS4 I've always wanted to play, and I've been playing through it, and there's this remastered version. It looks great. The game was originally produced in like 2007 or something like that, and I have to say the remastered version holds up. It's great. It's a lot of fun, so I'm really enjoying Uncharted. And, whew,
Yeah, some of those PS4 titles look really cool.
They're good.
I don't begrudge that at all. I think that's awesome.
Yeah, well, there are some things about it. We'll have to next time you're on, Raef, I'll talk more about comparing the PS4 because I know they use it.
I'd like that. Yeah,
we should dive in a little more about things because while we like the games, we'll talk more about it in the future. The system is not blowing us away. So, anywho, I think is that achievements. I hope so.
That is achievements.
Woo, woo, woo. As always, we go long.
And now, in an attempt to bring a small amount of dignity and decorum to this otherwise base form of entertainment, and I use the term loosely, I am proud to present...
Oh, get on with it. It's time for App of the Ep.
Seriously, Wakeland? I used to have my own segment, and now I'm relegating to announcing this pap...
Hey, you're lucky we still use you. Hey everyone, welcome back to another App of the Ep. I hope everyone had a great Christmas / Hanukkah / Kwanzaa / week off from work or whatever you celebrate. We here in the Wakeland house, we happen to be big fans of Christmas, and we celebrate it every year, of course. And one of the things I got this Christmas from my youngest daughter, I'm going to give you 3 little mini App of the Ep things. One of the things I got from my youngest daughter was my Force Band, which is this device. You may have seen it on television. It is a little Star Wars Rebel looking gizmo that you wear in your wrist. It's designed to look like a little piece of tech that a Rebel pilot or a Rebel spy might be wearing. And it's primarily promoted on television to control your little BB-8. And you may remember the little BB-8 from Sphero that came out last year. I did get a BB-8 for, I think, my birthday last year. And so this year, my youngest daughter, who gave me the BB-8 last year, gave me this Force Band. I wasn't expecting it. It's pretty cool. And I tweeted a picture of it out. And everybody's like, or not everyone, but a few listeners were like, hey, can you talk about it in App of the Ep? So I thought I would. And it does actually have a app you must download on your phone to use the band. So I guess it's appropriate because it does have an app. So the band actually does 3 pretty neat things. The first one is that it does, in fact, control your BB-8 droid. It lets you control them just by moving your wrist. It works reasonably well. I think it's still more fun to control BB-8 with your app on your phone, but it's pretty neat to twist your wrist to change its direction and then move your arm left and right and watch BB-8 sort of zip around the floor. It works pretty well, actually. It's got a pretty good motion sensor in there. But the other 2 modes are actually more fun. The other mode you want to start next is the Force Awareness, I think it's called a mode. And by the way, the band has a little speaker in it, and there's a little person talks to you. So, and depending on the mode you're in, so actually how you control the band and change its modes is simply one simple button with a light in it. But there's a voice that comes out and tells you the mode and talks to you. And so when you go into Force Awareness mode, it says, clear your mind. And you go to Jedi training, essentially. And what you're trying to do is find these holocron cubes. So it's kind of like a Pokemon Go Lite, because you wear this thing on your wrist in Force Awareness mode, and all of a sudden the voice will say, I detect a disturbance in the Force. And if you hold your arm up and start spinning in a circle, the band will slowly vibrate until you get close enough to where the Force is, and it will vibrate very strongly. And then you pull your arm in like you're doing a Force pull, and you capture a holocron cube, which then appears in the app on your phone. And you then go into the app on your phone, and you unlock these you open up the holocrons, kind of like you open up loot boxes in some video games, and all of a sudden you get some random stuff. And there's essentially a whole page in the app full of blank slots that will be filled up with holocron cubes you discovered. Some of these are basically cards for each character in the Star Wars saga. Some of them are ships. Pretty much everything is it's basically like collecting trading cards, virtual trading cards on your device by doing this Force thing. But a couple of them are pretty cool because some of the cards are Star Wars weapons, which leads us to the third mode of the device, which is weapons training mode, which is, of course, my favorite mode because it annoys the entire family. So what you do with this thing is you go into the app on your phone and you select one of the weapons to equip that you have found a holocron card for. Now, right now, I've only found 2. I found Han Solo's blaster, and I have Chewie's bowcaster. And so you select your weapon. Then when you're in weapons mode, it uses motion sensing to let you fire a gun. You basically make you can make your hand into a little finger gun. And when you put your arm down at your side, the gun makes a little power down noise. When you raise your arm up like you're going to shoot, pointing at somebody, it makes a little powering up noise. It kind of winds the power up. And then as you pull your arm back like you're pretending to shoot your finger, it makes the sounds of the gun. So it'll make the sound of Han Solo's blaster, and it'll make the sound of the bowcaster, right? But the rate of fire is realistic. So with Han Solo's blaster, you can pull your hand really fast and fire like crazy. With Chewie's bowcaster, you got a slower rate of fire. It's silly, right? It's just a sound effect, but it's surprisingly a lot of fun to run around the house and do that. So yeah, it's a lark. I wouldn't. It's not a must-have toy, but it's pretty fun. I do like the little holocron cube finding thing, and I really enjoy the little gun blaster noise. So that's the Force Band. Now, the second two apps I wanted to quickly talk about, one was my youngest daughter found, which was she discovered the app Metro. And so for Christmas, she got, amongst other things, a couple of iTunes gift cards, and she got Metro for her iPhone. And Metro is a great game. I've already become addicted to it. It's one of those games that is super elegant because of its simplicity. So the premise of Metro is basically you're designing a subway system. So think the London Underground or the New York subway or Boston T or whatever. And there's different areas around the world, but the game is super simple. It's basically a white screen with a bunch of different shapes that represent the different stops on the Metro. So you got maybe a triangle stop, a square stop, and a circle stop. And then you just use your finger to connect the dots, and that creates a Metro connection. Now, what's neat about this is because of the simple graphics, as you build your Metro, it actually looks like the railway maps you see in metro stations around the world. Basically, white background, different colored lines representing the different lines of the trains. And as what happens is little tiny geometric shapes appear next to the stops, and the shape of the little dot indicates where the passenger wants to go. So next to a circle stop, you might see a couple triangles. These are passengers trying to get to a triangle stop. And so you kind of optimize your track. It is super simple, but super really interesting. Fans of railway games, if you like, Ticket to Ride or any of those kind of games, this is a must get. I think it's a couple dollars. It's under $5, totally worth it. And that is Metro on iOS and Android. And the third thing I just wanted to quickly mention, so for Christmas also, my oldest daughter received Final Fantasy 15. Or is it 15? Yeah, I think it's 15. Anyway, the latest Final Fantasy game. Now, I have never played a Final Fantasy game. She is a big RPG fan, but her favorite RPGs on console are Skyrim and Dragon Age. Okay, so she is very much a American-style RPG person. She has never really played. She played Blue Dragon briefly, but didn't catch her fancy. She does not like Zelda. She does like Pokemon, but other than that, she doesn't really play a lot. She doesn't like any of the DS RPGs, so she's really not a Japanese RPG girl. But I tell you what, she got this thing on Christmas, and I don't know how many hours she's put into it, but she basically just does not leave the console now. I have to rip her off to get her to eat. She loves Final Fantasy 15. So I don't know if that's going to any ringing endorsement. I haven't really watched it enough to give you any kind of detailed thoughts on it myself, except to say the graphics are amazing. I cannot believe the number of hairs on a person's head they get into this game. But it does look a lot of fun. The dialogue's pretty funny. But in any case, she's just loving it. She's loving everything about it. She likes the combat system. She likes the leveling. It's pretty complex, and she's loving every bit of it. So it sounds like Final Fantasy 15 has done a good job of bringing the Japanese RPG style to an American RPG fan. So there you have it. So check out Force Band, check out Metro, and check out Final Fantasy 15. Hope you had a great holiday, and Happy New Year to everyone.
Thank you for listening to another scintillating edition of App of the App, a segment in which,
hey, less of that. More just getting on with the show.
seriously, Wakeland, you are like school in summer. No class.
Hey, welcome back. And it would not be our annual predictions episode, gentlemen, if we did not refer...
If I had anything to say about it?
No, right. If we did not
true.
look at our predictions from 2016 that we cast way back in December of 2015, before we knew anything. It seems so obvious now, but it wasn't obvious then.
2020.
Right?
Hindsight.
So we made some predictions last year. We each made 7 of them. And what we're going to do here is we're going to go round robin style around the table for each of our predictions. And we are going to score how we did. And I'm going to now remind you, gentle listener, of the scoring system. Are you ready, Craig and Raef?
Yes.
Yes.
Please
Here we
explain.
go. So,
To remind me.
here are the rules that we were under in 2016, and I think they're going to be very similar, because I think these are, well, we'll see how we do, but I think they're going to be very similar. So first, all predictions must be quantifiable somehow. Second, each prediction is worth 1 point, plus 1 point for each host who disagrees with your prediction. So that encourages you to make a harder prediction. And hosts who correctly or agree or disagree get plus 1 point of their own. So if Craig makes a prediction and I agree with him, Craig gets a point for being correct and I get a point for being correct about agreeing. If I disagree with him, I'll get a point if Craig was wrong, but Craig will get 2 points if he's right because he had a disagreement, right? And if you say you have no opinion, you get minus 1 point. Or if you are incorrect in agreeing or disagreeing with the host, you get minus 1 point. Mm-hmm. So we made it. That addition now pretty much means that we never have no opinion. We always, because you might as well,
have to,
which is good. That way we're forced to think it through. And thirdly, we must base all of our predictions on public information. If we have any insider information, we must have revealed it at the time of the prediction.
Indeed.
Right? So the three of us now have gone through our predictions from last year and have made little notes. So we're going to go through here now with you, gentle listener. Remind you what the predictions were.
Do you have a cold?
I do, yes. I apologize. A little bit of a cold this week.
Well, it's not your fault. Nothing you can do. I feel bad for you.
That stinks, right? At the Christmas time, we can do.
Yeah.
So let's start.
Do you use like any of those nose inhaler things? Clear out the schnoz?
I don't like to over medicate. I like to just kind of ride the thing out with maybe a coldies and a bag of tissues. And that's pretty much what I
could see that. Okay.
That's pretty much my plan.
Coldies and a bag of used tissues.
Right.
Scotch and honey or anything.
I like to be frugal. You don't use the tissue just once. I mean, come on. So anyway, round one. Here we go.
Craig, maybe you want to take over. No, I'm just kidding.
Not this show.
Raef. And Craig, do you have your Excel spreadsheet in front of you? Craig's going to take copious notes.
Good to go.
All right. So, Craig, you are responsible for proper scoring.
I am.
If there's any kind of contesting happening or if Russians are hacking us, they're hacking you. So be careful.
That's right.
All right. Here we go.
All right, here we go.
What was your first prediction for 2016?
All right. So I blew this one.
Well,
my prediction.
Well, I don't know. Go ahead.
I think I did. The movie. This was my prediction.
Yes.
The movie Deadpool will not do well.
Oh,
comic lovers will see it.
Yeah.
But it won't do well with the general populace. Everybody else that's liking the Avengers and all that kind of stuff.
And then that was another home run.
Yeah, that was pretty good. So yes, so obviously now, Raef, you had a little bit of quantifiable on here though, which almost saved you, but you worded it in such a way that it didn't. So what was your exact quantifiable?
And I worded it in the way that I meant it.
Yes.
So
meant it.
Yeah. And I was saying the Metacritic, we were using those guys as the basis points that the public score, the non-critic score, would be less than or equal to. That's what that means, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes,
okay.
it does.
Yeah. Less than or math
is hard. Yeah.
Math is hard.
6.5 was your hard ceiling.
5.
Yes. Now, unfortunately, what's interesting though is the critic score on Metacritic is exactly 65% or 6.5. So you actually predicted. So you get virtual points for that. However, as I think most geeks out there will tell you, Deadpool was actually a great hit, both commercially.
Virtual points and $8 will get you one small coffee at Starbucks.
And sadly, the user ratings sadly for Raef, but good for the movie. The user ratings for Deadpool were 8.1 or over 80% satisfaction. So, Craig, did you agree?
Sadly,
or disagree?
that is a minus 1 point for Raef.
Yes.
Craig, I disagreed with Raef.
Yes.
Because I thought it was going to do well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Russ sadly agreed with me.
I did.
So to illustrate the point system, Raef lost a point. Mm-hmm. So he's starting the game at a deficit.
Yes.
-1.
I gained a point.
Yes.
Russ got a 0 because it wasn't his question. You can't lose points unless it's your question.
Right.
Correct? Yes.
No. We have, if you are incorrect.
No.
Okay.
It was always.
Got it. It's only -1 if you have no opinion. Right.
Or if it's your question, correct?
Yes. Right. Got it. Okay.
So
Craig, what
the score?
Wait till the end of the round.
1/3 of the way through the first inning.
Yeah. All right. So Craig,
hey, I'm ahead. I want to.
What was your round one?
Well, you can.
What was your round one prediction, Craig?
My round one was Deadpool. Will do pretty well.
Yeah.
But it won't break into the top 10 Marvel films. And blah, 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 incorrectly said it was Marvel Cinematic Universe, blah, blah, blah. We covered that 8 times ad nauseum. But it breaks down to it won't break into the top 10 Marvel films, according to Box Office Mojo. Yeah. Sadly,
it did.
It did. And it's the 8th top Marvel movie, according to Box Office Mojo.
But ironically,
so I lost a point.
Right. But
I like this maneuver. I like this maneuver that Russ and I did.
But then Raef and I both disagreed with Craig, which would have been
awesome for me if I'd been right, because it would have been worth 3 points.
Right.
But sadly, so Russ and Raef each get a point.
Yes.
Yep. I lost a point.
I hedged my bets.
So now currently the score is 0-0 and 1 for Russ.
Excellent.
Per usual.
All right, now this next one I'm claiming typo. But let's go forward.
I don't know.
No.
What I said was, I was all excited about Jessica Jones. Yep. In the first season of Jessica Jones was out, and so I said that Jessica Jones will get renewed. But I said get a third, but she was really only in her first, so they don't.
Said get a third season, renewed for a third season.
Right,
is what you said.
But they haven't announced that yet, so it's too early to know.
They won't announce it until she gets her second season, which is rumored to be in 2018.
She got her second season. Her second season.
I know she got her second, but she won't get her third until they're running. So, they see the numbers for the second season, which won't be until 2018.
Wait. If I recall what happened here is I tried to just predict Jessica Jones, but you all agreed with me. So I decided to level it up. And I said,
there you go.
I said, I will also predict that Legends of the Future will be renewed.
I have a prediction that Russ is going to be calling lots of technicalities tonight.
No. So what I'm here to say is both these shows have been renewed for an additional season.
Yes, they have.
So
God alone knows why Legends of the Future or whatever the hell it's called.
They're thinking of changing the cast or whatever. But in any case, so I think I'm right here, but I will defer to the judges.
No way. I specifically remember Russ calling out a third season.
How can I call a third season? They never renew a show 2 years in advance before
because
you have a second
boosted
season.
It.
No, I'm boosting Legends of the Future.
I think you were all frustrated because it was a boost, yeah.
Now, Russ, I can't remember what I ate for breakfast 2 days ago, but I remember that you...
I don't know if that's a good argument or a bad one,
No, it's not. Right, but I kind of do remember.
Listeners, is just send the soundbite from last season to these guys after they're wrong.
Oh, so I like it.
But in any case, so I will defer to the judges. If you guys say I'm wrong because of the third, I am.
Well, I'll spiritually say correct. This is what I say.
Yes.
Okay, we put an asterisk on this one.
All right.
Give all zeros right now.
All right.
And see what the margin looks like at the end.
Why don't you do this? I don't think I'm going to win. So why don't you score it in my favor? But if I look like, because this is a 3-pointer for me, right? Because you both disagreed with me. So if I win by less than 3 points, it's a contested victory. How's that?
Okay.
All right.
I'm litigating the recount just to let everybody know. Where's Spooky too?
Yeah, those have been going. Those have been going great.
We'll have a recount, and also any electors will change their votes for me.
Yes. You want to see how many times we can lose? Is that what you're trying to do?
I am going for 3.
I think you should score it just for fun.
I did score it.
Score it in my favor.
We would get 0 because Russ is saying that he won.
No. Score it that he said a third because that's what you and I remember.
No, if you score it as a third.
Here. You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do this.
All right, here we go. It's already getting complicated in round 1. People.
I am going to go into Excel Overdrive.
All right, here we go. 2 versions.
Yep, exactly.
We've already split the timeline, people. We have now
the timeline has now split. Boom. Okay.
Now, the best part of this is that all the listeners that have been listening for 204 episodes, they always write in and say, I feel like I'm just gaming with you guys. Well, this goes on in real life.
This is how it works.
This is game night.
We have now forked the rule set. All right. So, anyway, while Craig is doing that, Raef and I both disagreed. So if I am considered correct on this one, I will score 3 points, 1 for being correct plus 1 for each disagreement. If I am considered incorrect on this, I will score -1, and Craig and Raef will each score +1. So this is in a net effect a 5-point swing against me, one way or the other. So it's a big deal. So, but having my incredible precognitive powers, and already looked ahead, I know that this is probably the only one I'm going to get right, so I'm not in any danger of actually winning this year. I don't.
All right, I see what you're saying.
All right.
As we say in the law, it'll be rendered moot.
It will be rendered moot, I think. I think. Okay. Round 2. Craig, are you all caught up there with that complex? I know we just leveled up.
Well, right now it's in Russ's universe. He is so far ahead.
Wait,
it is currently 0-0-4 in Russ's universe.
But don't worry, there's
in the real universe, it is Raef with 2. I have 1, and Russ has 1.
Okay,
as it should be. Yes.
Okay.
However, with round 2. My predictions were exactly polar opposite. So I said that Batman versus Superman will kill it.
Yeah, that was a softball. I don't even know what you were thinking.
That was
well, I had faith in Ben.
All right,
Affleck.
Hey, comic do that bad?
No, I did enjoy the movie, but not to the level. Yeah, comic lovers and general public will love it. Boy, was I wrong there. It'll score an 8.2 or higher.
I love when Rafe gets all like 8.2.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
Not an 8.0.
No, I give you bad props for that. Rafe. You 8.2. You owned that decision. You owned it. So
that's right.
Yeah, I felt it. I just was wrong.
Now you were wrong. You know the scores there.
Yes, so thanks for looking that up, Russ. So we got wrong. The critics gave it a 4.4, which I never listened to them.
Yeah.
And the fan score was a 7.0. So it
isn't that far off.
Actually.
It wasn't. But, the fans are very forgiving. I think they were too forgiving on this one, honestly.
Yeah, I think they were ridiculously forgiving.
This is not a C.
I liked it.
Now,
I love Deadpool, though. Like, Deadpool surprised me. I thought Deadpool was awesome.
Yep. So now, Craig and I both disagreed with you.
Yep.
So that could have been a big one for you.
So Rafe gets 0.
He gets -1.
-1, sorry, and Craig and I each get +1.
That's right.
That's
and you
a big
score
one.
that now in both universes, Craig. So both universes, you got to score that in.
Yeah.
So
I'm right in both universes right now. It's scored.
Okay, good. Moving on. Craig, what was your round 2 prediction for 20?
My round 2 prediction is going to be interesting. I said Age of Sigmar will not hurt the GW bottom line. Mm-hmm. And that profits in 2016 will be better than the -3% profits they booked in 2015.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. They are still in the negative.
Yes.
Correct.
Yes.
But
yes,
they are at -2, which is better than -3 if my math holds true.
Well, I have to call shenanigans on your math. So here's what actually is happening in real numbers. In 2014, GW made some amount of money. In 2015, GW made 3% less than what they made in 2014. In 2016, they made 2% less of what they made in 2015, which is still 3% less of what they made in 2014. So they were still losing more money than ever. Right? They have lost more money.
Where are those numbers coming from? Because those aren't the numbers that I found.
They're negative 2% on profit this year, right? So they over last year.
But if they're negative, but if they're -2 in profit this year, they were -3 in profit last year.
But
that means that they're going up.
But negative is year over year, so they're still going. Their rate of decline is decreasing, but they're still losing more money than they did 2 years ago.
But I didn't say 2 years ago. I said last year.
Right, but 2%.
Yeah, I see what Russ is saying, which is the numbers are trending. The aggregate is still low.
Yes. But
Craig is saying it doesn't matter. They've increased their profitability by 1%.
Correct.
They've decreased their rate of decline by 1%. They are still not profitable.
But they're still better than last year. If you're decreasing your rate of loss, then it's better than it was last year.
No, because as a percentage of the total, well, it's debatable. Because as a percentage of total, it's percentage
He
over...
didn't total them.
I said gross profits. Gross profits went from -3 to -2, meaning they're still losing money, but they're not losing as much as they lost last year, which means they're doing better than last year, which means, in my mind, Age of Sigmar did not hurt them.
Because it's all percentages.
What's that?
It's all percentages, so it's from a smaller pool, so they're still losing more money.
He might have a point there.
I will let the lawyer
But that's not how
decide.
Craig meant it.
Yeah, I'll let the lawyer decide. I didn't mean the third season either, so I just want to throw that out there.
Yes, you did. Here's how we can prove the Jessica Jones.
Yes. No, you can't prove it.
When we recorded,
yes,
Was the second season already renewed?
No, it's only had one season. No.
Was it renewed?
No.
Is what he asked.
No. It was not renewed because it just come out. It was December of 2015, and the show just launched. It was just like it is now. You wouldn't know if there was a second season.
Oh.
That's what I'm saying.
I see your point, Russ. If you're like, why would I have said
Why would
number
I have
3?
jumped 2 years into the future?
Because I think you boosted.
No, I boosted.
I think because we were like, oh yeah, sure, it'll go a second.
Anyway, I'll let you guys. I'm just saying that it
roll the tape.
It didn't. Well, we should go to the tape.
Jessica Jones was renewed for a second season in January. So no,
so we would not have
it was not.
No.
It was not.
It was not a sure thing. So
It's tricky. The law's murky.
Yeah, it's
you
murky.
know,
It's
right.
murky.
Area.
But your math is far more complex than I had ever intended.
He just meant. Well, you meant they would do better.
They didn't do better.
But Russ's point
how are they not doing better if their percentage of loss is less than it was last year?
Because they were already down from the 2014. It would be really hard to.
It doesn't matter if they're down 2 years ago. I said from last year, year over year. One 2 year sampling is all I'm saying.
All right.
Is all I said. I said their profits from last year to this year would be better, which 2% loss is better than a 3%
Well, I'm
loss.
saying if you don't compare percentage and you compare actual money, they're still getting less money.
Then show me those numbers because I haven't seen those numbers.
They have them all on their little thing over there. But anyway,
So he got.
Then you should. Russ, then you show me those numbers.
I'll let you go. I'll let you rate.
I'm not. No, I'm not going anywhere because I think -2 is bigger than -3.
All right. Go for it.
It is less of a loss.
Sure. All right. So Raef, you call it because we're disagreeing. So Raef, you got to break the tie.
Yeah, Craig gets it, and it's even contrary to what I voted, so he gets it.
Fair enough. So that means Craig gets.
It was 100, and they lost 3%. That would be 97.
And now it's at 97, and they lost 2% more on 97. So now they're at whatever that is down to. So that's what I'm saying. You can't compare the 2% against the original 100.
But the trend is going up. I mean, the trend is leveling out, which means their trend line is getting better.
The line is not as bad.
That's my point.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah. My point was that they were not hurt by what they did. That's my point.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if they're still losing, but they didn't lose as much, then that's better than what they were doing.
Yes. I'm with you.
That's what Craig's saying.
So that's a good one for you then. So you got 1 point for being correct, +2 for Raef and I both disagreed with you. So you're now at it's a +3 points, right? Nice one.
Yeah. Oh, Russ. Moments. It's
Russ
moments
is
like
taking
this.
the literal, Russ taking a literal statutory reading of it. I'm ruling that the intention that the legislators intended was they sucked a little less than they did in 2015.
Fair enough. I will go with that because that's our motto. So I'm okay with that then.
Yeah.
All right. So my next critic, my next one here also had to do with Batman versus Superman.
Yes.
Now, interestingly here, though, Raef, I was more critical of them, and just as you thought that they would do, Batman would do really well. I thought it would do really bad, but it didn't do as well as you'd hoped, and it didn't do as badly as I thought they would. So I predicted
these numbers.
I predicted that the critics on Metacritic would give it less than or equal to 40%, but actually, the critics gave it 4.4 or 44%. So that makes me wrong. It actually did better than I thought it would. Which really that movie has no right being over 40, quite frankly.
No.
But in any case,
it's not that bad.
It's that bad.
Oh yeah. How many times do you watch?
You guys are hard.
How many times
You're hard on entertainment.
Okay. So anyway, but the good news for you guys is you both disagreed with me. So I score -1. I score -1, and Craig and Raef both score 1 each for disagreeing.
Yeah.
So you guys just aren't persuaded that Batman's mom is named Martha and Superman's name is Martha. It's great.
If you're going to make
it's
a superhero
great
movie,
cinema.
That you know what that reminds me of? Shakespeare.
See?
That's Shakespeare level conflict.
That's what I was alluding to.
I was thinking the Odyssey. I was thinking Homer at his best.
Oh, come on.
Yep. And black and blue.
That was a god-awful movie. I'm sorry.
They fight, so it's like black and blue. It's the symbolism is.
Oh my God,
awesome.
it's so deep. I totally changed my mind. Raef has told me.
Extreme disappointment. All right, round three. Raef, what was your round 3 prediction here?
My round 3 prediction. Man, I love this game. Raef will play Shadows over Brimstone, the Flying Frog production, at least 4 times in 2016. And I wrote, have a small posse to play it. I think I wrote that to give you guys a chance to not think I was padding the vote.
Yes, you did. And Russ took that.
I took the bait.
He took that lifeline, and I did not.
I did.
Yes. And I went back and I counted. We played 5 to 6 missions.
Nice. That counts.
Now, if you counted, how come you have a range?
Here's how I counted.
Shenanigans. We've all been called out this year. Boy, it was a tough year for predictions.
I'm just saying. I think I know math is my weakness, but guys, seriously.
Yeah. Here's how I counted, to be fair.
Right.
I went back and I remember playing the game with them once to see if they would like it. Yeah. And they loved it. Okay. So then we did the campaign mission. So I went in the book and I was like, we did that mission, with that mission. What I can't remember, so I said 1, and then we played missions 1 through 5 again, making 6.
Oh, I see.
But what I played 1 twice.
Yeah, but here's what I can't remember.
Yeah.
If we played the first one, I couldn't recall if that was in 2016. Like it could have been December of 2015. So
legit.
But in any case, you only predicted 4.
Either way, it's better than 4.
You're good.
Yeah.
And Craig, you disagreed.
I disagreed.
Which means
I went, posse. That's a silly word.
Now I agreed. So Raef, you scored 2 points, 1 full point for being correct and 1 disagreement, and I score 1 point for being correct. And you don't get any negatives for disagreeing, so Craig gets a 0 on that one.
Yeah.
All right. And then Craig had a really...
jeez, more math.
No, I think you're good here. So go ahead. What was your prediction?
I said the Hateful Eight.
Yeah, right.
Which I've never seen and won't see.
Right.
Will not beat Reservoir Dogs on Rotten Tomatoes tomato meter.
Right.
On their critics critic side. Yep. But it will make at least 15 times the money Reservoir Dogs made, according to Box Office Mojo. So 2 different sources of information.
2 different,
I think you got this.
Curious.
And Raef agreed with me, and Russ disagreed with me.
Yeah, because on Rotten Tomatoes, right, it got 75 for Hateful Eight, but Reservoir Dogs is sitting at 90%. That's
90.
Wow.
So the first part,
meaning Reservoir Dogs beat Hateful Eight, which is what I said.
That's right. And then you also said that you said that it would, even though it was not as highly rated, that Reservoir Dogs would make at least 15 times more money.
15 times? That's where I got you, Russ.
Hateful Eight would make 15 more times.
Hateful Eight would make.
Yes, and I looked it up, and Hateful Eight made $54 million, when Reservoir Dogs only made 2. Different era people.
That would be, let me do the math, 27 times more.
So you nailed it.
You dialed that in.
Nailed
it. Well, you know why? Everybody forgets what like a cult classic Reservoir Dogs was.
Right. So that means, Craig, you score a point, and I disagreed with you, so you scored 2 points, and Raef agreed with you, so he scores 1 point.
I have a question before you read the scores or Russ goes. Why will you never see the Hateful Eight?
I'm not a big fan of his anymore, and there were some things that went on around the Hateful Eight that I found distasteful, so I just moved on.
Okay.
Not making any protests or anything like that. Just I don't want to
behind the scenes kind of stuff.
Yeah, like behind the scenes kind of stuff.
Okay.
All right.
Okay. So Russ, what about you and your final third round prediction?
Yeah, I made a bold prediction here. I don't think worked out. So I said at least 7 people. So this is the time that Fantasy Flight Star Wars Rebellion was all being announced, and we knew it was coming out this year.
What's that? I forget. Is that I'm not joking. Is that an RPG, a board game? I forget what that is.
It's a board game that has the Death Stars and all kinds of stuff.
You're basically doing the second, the episode 4 era stuff. And it's 2 players, but you got little mini AT-ATs, and you got little mini. It's awesome. The bits are amazing. It's 2 players. One side's
is it like a Rune Quest type of game, or is it like a dungeon crawl?
No, it's like Horus Heresy.
Yeah,
that's right.
There's already a
got
dungeon crawl, so this would not be that. It's like Horus Heresy on a planetary
or Rune Wars, or one of those, but it's 2 players.
Galactic Conquest, right? So I thought it would sell like wildfire in our group, and like at least 7 people would buy it. I did not buy it. So that's one down.
Oh, you did? Oh,
No.
you didn't?
No.
Oh,
So
that knocks the
meant-
number down even
and
more.
It came out at Adepticon. I remember distinctly because Matt bought it there, and I think that's all Matt
Yep.
played at Adepticon was pretty much.
They did. They played 3 games. One with you, I believe.
Yes, I did play it. I like it. It's good.
No, I've heard nothing but good things.
The problem I have the reason it's not my collection, and I knew this going in, is the 2-player element.
Yeah.
If it's a 2-player game, I generally play miniature games, so I'm looking for board games to be larger than 2.
And I think that worked against your prediction also.
It did. And I think I knew this when I predicted it, but I was just Star Wars. I figured we'd buy it. So I only know 2 people in our group that have it.
Matt, Alex, and Jeremy Turner.
And that's a long way from 7. So even if a couple more bought it that I don't know about, I am not correct.
Yeah,
so I
that
was
is true.
wrong. Both Craig and Rafe disagreed with me.
Yes.
So I get -1, and you both get +1.
That's because
looking
Craig and I
ugly.
we're more pessimistic about
that's
gaming
true. There's a
than Russ is.
negativity
He's very optimistic, where
Yeah.
we're like
Oh,
7.
of course.
people.
I'm a whole seasons ahead on shows. I'm like out there years in advance of these things.
Exactly. Exactly.
So in both universes now, I think I'm in trouble. I think in both universes it's starting.
Yeah, what's
to
the
crash.
score?
It's let's
'cause
see.
we're not
in
quite halfway
both
through.
universes right now,
Yeah.
it's looking like Rafe in Russ's universe.
Yes, in my universe, in my own
Rafe
world.
has Rafe has 4 total points.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
And I have 8 total points.
That's really good.
And Russ has 4 total points.
That's in my good universe. Now
That's in your good universe.
Now in the darker universe.
Now in the dark universe,
Yes.
not a lot has
The
changed.
bearded universe.
Rafe has how did Rafe wait? Oh no, that we're not there yet. Right. Okay. Rafe what? There's been shenanigans. There's been some kind of issue with my math. Anyway, I'll do the math myself. Rafe has 6.
Is it Russians, Craig? I think
It
Russians,
could be Russians.
are hacking your spreadsheet.
Oh wait, maybe it's not. There's not a math issue. No. Yeah, Rafe has 6 somehow.
All right, good.
I have 9.
Yes.
And Russ has 1.
Right. So in both
Wow.
universes, Craig is leading, and I'm in trouble. Any way you slice it right now. So I don't think it's going to really matter in the end here. A recount is not going to save me in either universe. All right.
We'll see.
Round 4.
You never can tell.
Round
Yeah,
4.
usually Russ looks really bad in the beginning, but he can pull it out in the end somehow.
Not this time.
Yeah.
Not this
I don't
time.
know.
I don't think so. Round 4. Rafe,
Round 4.
What was your round 4 prediction?
Well, apparently I was a little too optimistic. Russ will play D&D with his family for 14 sessions, which isn't even half of a year.
Well, it is
And
playing more than
20,
once a month.
26 weeks,
Right.
and the sessions have to be at least 4-hour sit downs.
Yeah.
And Russ gave me the calculation, and I was
Wrong.
Wrong.
Well,
Technically, by Russ's math here, you didn't get a single one because his average is 3.5.
Well,
that's right.
I would have given it to you if I'd played 14 sessions, but I think when you made this prediction, I actually warned you.
As would we all.
I think I warned you. I play once a month, so 14 would have been hard, and we only played 10 times. I do record them pretty religiously, so we didn't even make it once a month this year.
I thought you played with John though sometimes. That's what made me go for 14.
Is in the same session, but I don't have a separate session.
Got it.
And when I do play there are multiple campaigns going on. I'm in one of my daughter's campaigns, but those usually the same day. Yep. So
wait a minute.
Yes.
That's a session.
But they're not 4 hours. Like hers are 1. And I've only played in hers once this year. So even if you count that one, I'm at 11.
Okay. All right.
So anyway, sadly, Rafe, you were wrong on that one. Both Craig and I disagreed with you. So that is -1 for Rafe and +1 for Craig and Russ in all 2 universes.
Indeed.
Both realities.
Yeah. Now, that's okay. I have my most embarrassing one ever coming up.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
All right.
My irrational hatred of Magic the Gathering.
It was irrational, too, I think.
Resulted in my prediction that not a single human being in our gaming group.
How do you not know our group that well?
And even the hybrids,
everything.
not even the hybrid half-humans would
everything.
purchase Magic the Gathering, blah, blah, blah. There's a subtitle, the board game.
Yeah, this is a crazy prediction.
Okay, now,
somewhere in our group,
first of all, there's Jeremy Turner.
Yes.
Especially since his graduate school has pulled him away from minis gaming, pretty much owns every board game that's ever been produced.
Yes.
Okay. Then I'm sure Will, who wasn't responding to email today, probably bought it just out of spite.
Right.
But the worst part of this prediction was that before I ever even made this prediction, it was common knowledge, apparently, in our group that Ian had already bought the game.
There you go.
So I said nobody was going to buy a game Ian already bought.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently it's basically the HeroScape rules with Magic the Gathering characters, so dumb me.
Yep. So there you have it.
And dumb me, apparently.
Yeah, that was...
I agreed
was
with you.
Yeah, exactly. So Raef got 0 on that one, and I lost another point.
And I disagreed.
And Russ gained a point.
Both universes, I'm up 1. Woohoo! I'll take it. All right. So this one...
I like this one.
This one I predicted, we were all kind of feeling a little bit of gloom. This is right between, when we do this show, it's not quite halfway, but it's sort of Gen Con.
Feels
the prior
like
year
halfway.
Is sort of in the rearview mirror, and we're looking to the next year. And we were all feeling like Gen Con had sort of peaked and needed a little bit of a decline. But I didn't say it would go down. I just said it would grow less.
So, here we go. Here we go.
Yes.
Percentages, math,
yes,
shenanigans. I got to make another copy and cut and paste.
Here we go. No, you don't think you have to.
The timeline splits again.
I don't think you have to, because here I was very clear. I was talking all percentages.
Yeah, you're very good.
It will grow by less than 4% this year, unlike it grew by 9% the prior year. So I was correct, because attendance was up by 2.5%. So whilst it is still the largest Gen Con ever, see, this is where I disagree with the GW, because GW is still the least profitable it's ever been. But
he meant to write it like this,
right? And that's the question is intent. While Gen Con is still the highest attendance it's ever been, it is slowing in its growth. So Gen Con is now only up 2.5%,
and GW is slowing in its suckage.
Okay, fair,
exactly,
fair. So Craig disagreed with me on this.
I did.
And Raef agreed, which means I score 2, 1 + 1 disagreement, and Raef scores 1 for agreeing with me.
Yeah.
Now, Russ.
Yes.
That is your single highest scoring round so far. You just got 4 points in both universes.
That's pretty exciting.
That's that. So now at the end of round 4.
Oh, here we go. Now it's getting to be a question.
Okay. In the real universe, this is the real. This is the idea. This is Russ's universe.
Don't be fake news. Don't be fake news.
Russ's universe. Raef has 4.
Yes.
And you and I are both tied at 8.
Okay.
Now, in the real universe,
right,
Raef has 6. I'm still not sure where he's picking up 2 points on that. But anyway.
Okay, fair.
I have 9 and you have 5. So still not a walk away.
No, but I'm definitely in trouble. All right.
But you're tied for first in your own little
in my own little universe, but I think it doesn't get much better than this. I think I've peaked. All right, round.
Okay.
Round.
Wait, this is standard though, Craig. Like in the middle of a minis game, he's like, "No, listen, I'm not going to get this, right, Greg?" Yeah. And then in the end, oh well, I did forget I was sitting on that objective.
That's true,
right?
There is some truth to that.
This is standard Russ operating procedure.
Round 5. Raef, what was your prediction in round 5?
Beyond the Gates of Antares, which I like. I like that game.
It's a good game.
Hey, there's a new plastic faction out.
Yeah, baby.
There is?
Yeah, the Mass Effect. I call it the Mass Effect faction.
I want to play that again.
Yeah,
I'm going to make that a prediction. Okay. Craig will fall prey to too many games.
True.
Yeah.
And poor Craig, I predicted, just came to me.
Yeah.
He wouldn't be able to play 4 times or more in 2016. And he won't. I don't know what I was thinking here.
This part's bizarre because Matt Alex, like he bought it, but like I think I played him maybe twice, but I think once.
It's a typo, and I meant Russ.
At this time, he already knew I was in. Oh, that's the thing.
I know it's weird.
Yeah.
It won't be able to find any opponents except Matt Alex.
Yeah, we're apparently already in hardcore rules though. So unless you want to fork the universe again, you got to go with Matt. But in any case, the good news is the Matt Alex part didn't hurt you because you're wrong for the play 4 times.
Yeah, exactly. I think I watched you guys play at least twice.
I know. I record all my games very fastidiously, as you all know.
Yes,
I've only been playing Craig. Well, that's not true. I played one time at Adepticon with someone else. But so basically, I played Craig specifically 5 times, according to
I played a game with Dave and a game with Matt.
So So sadly,
and
Raef,
me.
Yes,
and you. Yeah. So
right
I'm at like I think I'm at like
closer to 10. Yeah. So any case, Raef, sadly, you're wrong. Both Craig and I disagreed with you because we already knew our passion for Antares would hit more than 4.
Yeah.
My
pessimism failed me.
So that means, Raef, you get -1, and Craig and I both get +1 in all universes.
Yes.
All right. What's the next one?
All right, here's where I start getting into trouble.
I like this one.
This is a Craig prediction, but I started getting in trouble here.
Yeah. So I said that Seafall by Plaid Hat. Now, I didn't even know this was a trick question.
It is a trick.
Seafall by Plaid Hat Games, which was supposed to come out in 2013 but didn't, will be released in 2016, which it was at Gen Con.
Sure.
And it will be purchased within our group, which it was, but it will not be completed.
Yeah, that was pretty. That was an interesting prediction. I should have agreed with it on that particular.
You should have, because you didn't know how long the missions were gonna. I mean, how long the campaign would take.
Yeah, but none of the legacy.
But you should have known you should have known from Risk Legacy.
Yes,
right.
And
that it took that it takes forever to finish one of these games.
Yeah, they take months and months of play, and it wasn't coming out.
And our game group's too fickle.
Yeah. Well, I'm playing.
Well, no, he's been playing the heck out of it.
I am. We play weekly.
You started late. You started late, and it just takes forever.
Well, it's 20 plays roughly. So if you play once a week, that's 20 weeks. That's not quite half a year.
Right.
It didn't come out till Gen Con. So the odds of it being complete in a year, even in a dedicated group, was pretty unlikely.
Right. Yep.
So in any case, you were correct. Because it was purchased, but nobody completed it. So it should have been a softball on the completion thing. But
it should have been. It should have been 1 point. We should have each gotten 1 point on
wording. Yes, and I disagreed with you, which gave you 2 points.
It is. It was a big swing.
Raef agreed with you, so he gets 1 point. So Craig, you're doing very well. You're strong this year in any universe. So well played there, sir. All right.
Okay.
All right. So now my prediction.
Now we go to Russ.
Yeah, here we go. So Russ is interesting because that youthful joy that he carries with him in everything that he does sometimes helps. Sometimes.
And then sometimes not so much.
It takes you down the path that is just, optimism.
Yes.
So
it's all rosy.
Craig at this point was, Christmas again. It was Christmas last year, and I knew Craig was all excited about getting Reese and Xbox 360 and Disney Infinity and all those good things. And so I figured Craig would get sucked into the world of video games. And I said that he would start mentioning the fact that he was playing it almost in every achievements.
Yeah.
And I said he would still be mentioning achievements in Q4 of 2016. So that would have meant in the last 3 months. He has not. Yeah. And he will buy at least one game for himself, which also did not happen.
Right. You had a whole bunch of levels to that.
I made it very clear. I wanted to make sure it was...
We even thought just from the bargain bin. Like he would just pick one up for $4.99.
Game, or something cheap. Yeah. But no, he resisted the whole video game thing. It's quite impressive.
Yeah. You realize if I start a video game, this whole giant juggling act that is my life falls apart.
It's very good self-control, Craig. I'm most impressed. So Raef and Craig both disagreed with me. So I get negative
Could have been a points bonanza if I had been a little weaker, Russ.
This is what I like about us is that I know when to dial into Russ's optimism and I know when to dial into Craig's pessimism.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's perfect.
This is a big
round.
Mm-hmm. So I get -1 here, and you each score a point in both universes.
Yeah.
So it's not looking good. I think I'm starting to really spiral down now in either universe you slice it. In one universe, I don't look quite as embarrassed, but in the other universe, it's not great.
We got 2 rounds to go.
2 rounds to go. Round 6.
Yes.
So, Raef, what do you got? Round 6.
Due to backward compatibility and indie titles, Xbox One sales will increase year of year. I don't know what that means. Increase
year for year?
Year over year, probably.
Next year or something. Yeah.
Year over year.
We have to account for the fact we're typing these things while we're doing it.
Live. Yeah, I'm not busting it. Yeah.
Like you might type in third instead of second. That might happen.
Right. At least by 10%.
Yes.
Go ahead, Russ. Tell the quotes.
Good news
the stats.
You're at 81% growth. So it was a bonanza year for the Xbox.
Yeah, I knew it.
And that's really the one measurable part here. So I think you're technically correct. But however, you did actually try to state the reason, and I don't think the reason you stated is the reason it did. It's because Microsoft released the new Xbox One S, which is 4K, more powerful, smaller, blah, blah, blah. Well, it's not more powerful. It's just 4K TV. So that's really what's driving it.
I did read that,
theory. And backward compatibility is still growing, but I don't think that's really causing the sales to go crazy. But in any case, the quantifiable thing you had in there was correct, so I'd say you get it. That's my
Yay! Yeah.
Which is bad for me and good for you guys, because Craig agreed with you, and I disagreed because I didn't think I didn't see the S coming, so that was my first mistake. But secondly, I didn't see it being more than 10% because 10% was a lot. It was only up like 8% over the year before. So
well, and plus PS4 kept kind of beating it out too.
Yes, PS4 has been beating it for a while, but
like back when we predicted, PS4 was squashing it.
Yep.
It had to be more than just the S though? It just the blockbuster hits of Halo and Gears of War, and
I think there's been exclusives, but I think the S, is part of it. I do.
Oh,
Yep.
okay.
So now, Craig. So did you get the score properly, Craig? That would be 2 for Raef and 1 for you, and 0 for me.
I got it in both universes. In both pant legs.
Yeah. Okay. Craig, what was your prediction in round 6?
My prediction in round 6. This is I went whole hog on this one.
You went big on this one, and it may have cost.
I was like, Antares is the greatest thing since sliced toasted bread.
Right.
And I said in 2016 there were only demos of Antares at Adepticon, but there's going to be at least 2 tournaments scheduled for 2017 by December.
Yeah. And
one of them will have less than 10 spots left.
Yes.
I don't even know where that came from.
I don't either. It was very optimistic. You were all in on this. Now,
I was all over it.
The good news is
over it. Sadly, now, currently, there is only 1 tourney.
Yes.
And there are 16 spots still available.
So, I mean, full points for being very specific, Craig. You got it.
And the fun part on that one is I did drag Russ with me because he was super excited about
I disagreed.
Antares as well.
I disagrised.
You dragged me in somehow.
Oh, who did I disagree? Oh, I'm
Raef.
looking at the wrong one. Yeah, you're right. Yeah,
but I disagreed because I didn't think
somehow his ebullience never translates to follow me.
Well, I thought the 10,
That's right.
I thought the 2 tournaments and 10 slots was a bit aggressive.
Yeah, and it was.
So Craig, you scored -1. I score +1 for that one.
Yes, you do.
Okay. So then I also
in the real universe I found my Raef error, so it's been fixed.
Okay, good. Raef's back down to earth. Okay, so this round, Craig, if it makes you feel better, I also went big.
You did.
In a way. I went really big on this. I said that Seafall from Plathead Games. Big shout out to Colby. How's it going, Colby? Will be a huge hit and generally considered a masterstroke.
Wow.
And further, it will drive the move towards permanently changing games, and it will trigger a rash of new games of this ilk, with 3 or more new games like this being released or announced that are not from the legacy brand, i.e. copycats, essentially. So it won't be, it'll be a non-legacy game. Yeah. Now, I think I'm wrong on this pretty much everywhere. So it did get released this year. That's about the only thing I got right. It's getting mixed reviews. In fact, to the point that I want to review it on this show because I don't know what people's problem with it is, honestly. We're really having a blast with it. There are some new legacy-ish games. Stronghold game has one out. But there's not 3+ that I can think of, and it's certainly not like... I feel like the legacy thing's going to be around still, but I think the bloom may be off the rose on this. So I would say I don't think I'm correct on this. I was overly exuberant.
Yeah.
Yes. So
it pulled me in.
What did you guys? Yeah, Craig called it. He's like, nope, not going to be a thing.
I didn't even know much about it, but you guys were talking so much about it. I was like,
Well, it was
sounds
really,
like it might be a hit.
It was kind of the reason I went so big is it was kind of a safe prediction. I mean, it's one of the most anticipated games of the year. So I kind of felt like saying it's going to do well wasn't a big enough prediction. So I really went big on the whole rash of. I see now.
Big.
I went too big. So that's -1 for me.
Well, they say go big or go home.
That's what I say. I'm a big Pacific Rim fan. And Craig, you disagreed. So you get +1 on that one.
I did.
Yeah,
I did.
No plate, sir.
I don't know why. I think I was just bitter about you not agreeing with me about
probably
Antares.
It could be true.
Who won last year? Craig?
I forget.
I think it might have been me because you both in the bonus round, you both picked me.
Yes.
Yeah, he won.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, he won.
All right,
somehow.
here we go. So round 7, the final
round before the bonus round.
All right. So
the current score is in the real world.
Okay.
Raef has 8.
Yes.
I have 14.
Yes.
Russ has 5.
Oh God.
Wow.
What about my
killing
universe?
us?
In Russ's universe,
Yes.
Raef has 7.
Yeah.
I have 13.
Yes.
Russ has 8.
Okay, so I'm in second place in Russ's world.
In Russ's world.
Russ's world. I'm just not
Party time. Excellent.
Right. So round 7, Raef, what was your final prediction for 2016?
I still think the stats are wrong on this, but my prediction was Craig will have a good Kickstarter
I
year.
can already tell you you're wrong on that.
I did.
I
I did have a good one because I swore off it.
He stopped.
Currently averages 4 to 5 Kickstarters per year.
Yeah.
Craig will back to completion 6 to 7 this year.
What? That was. I hope I didn't agree with that because that was crazy.
No,
talk.
you didn't.
That is crazy talk.
All right, Craig, what'd you do?
Well, it's weird because I've panicked while we were preparing for this because I have like stacks of unopened Kickstarters all over the pub right now.
See?
And I was like, oh my God, Raef totally got it right. But when I went into Kickstarter today, I found out, oh, that's right. That's one of the main reasons I'm not doing Kickstarter anymore or trying not to is because half of the ones stacked up around me were supposed to come in a year ago.
Right.
So in 2016, I only did 4.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
I did Tiny Epic Western.
Right. What you got?
The Walking Dead from Mantic.
Did you get that one yet?
I got all these.
That's good.
Except for the last one.
Okay.
I did Walking Dead from Mantic. I did End of the Line.
Yeah.
From Fight in a Box.
I did that one too.
And Blood and Plunder.
Yeah, and Blood and Plunder is shipping now, so you're going to
Blood and Plunder is shipping now.
This is pretty exciting because all the ones you backed this year, you're pretty much getting the same year,
Wow.
a month or two after.
No terrain kits or anything?
No, I didn't. And I'm telling you, I'm done.
No bones?
So they're just. I did the bones, but bones was actually 2015. Yeah, I thought bone. I'm telling you, I totally thought you had this till I was very surprised when I looked up the stats.
Well, yeah, the records are very clear in the Kickstarter app. So you
I know, because it does it by Yeah, it's a good tracking tool.
So Craig and I totally disagree with you on this, Raef. We thought you were way too optimistic on this.
Yeah, I guess so.
So that means it's
All right,
-1
lesson learned.
for Raef and +1 for Craig and Russ each in both universes.
Yep.
All right.
So my negativity.
Yeah, Craig was feeling bullish.
So
on,
basically, Adepticon is not at all going to be anything I thought it was going to be.
Apparently not. Yeah.
I thought, although apparently I had a great hope for Games Workshop not sucking quite as much in an earlier round.
Yes.
In round 7, I decided that they're going to double down on the new age of Sigma philosophy.
Right.
And it will not come out with a tournament-friendly point system.
Right.
That's where my first choke was.
Yep.
There will be no events at Adepticon without an unofficial army list with point values, rule set, an unofficial rule set. And the presence will be less in Adepticon 2017 than in 2016 by event count. Wrong on all counts.
All counts.
The General's Handbook came out over the summer, which basically gives point systems to everything.
Yep.
And so they backed off on their own thing,
They did.
I think. I don't know. I know nothing about it.
Yeah.
Sadly, or luckily, you both agreed with me because we all
yes.
thought it was going to be dumb.
So
I lost 1 point on
that's
this
it.
one, and you guys gained nothing.
Right. So
I've heard from people who play it. They say it's fun.
I have heard
loves it, yeah.
great things, but then I've also heard great things about Kings of War.
Yep.
So,
Oh.
So
and I guess locally, there's just not much of a motivation for massive
Fantasy battle.
fantasy, I
fantasy
guess.
Yeah.
I don't know, everybody's excited about the new Malifaux thing or the weird miniature thing. We'll see.
Not everybody.
Well, small group, a small dedicated band.
It's a small dedicated group that coincidentally already plays Malifaux.
Yeah, good point. So my final prediction for 2016, I was trying to get bullish on Gates of Antares as well. So I said,
but see, look at me. I was there with you, man. I had your back on this one.
We both. Well, we had just gotten into it. We were very optimistic. We were probably a little overly optimistic.
Yeah.
So I said it gained significant traction in 2016. I said that Daka Daka will create its own dedicated forum. Did not happen. I said there'll be an event at Adepticon. There is. I said our local game group would have 4+ regular players, similar to Infinity. They do not. There's, as far as I know right now, there's Craig and I.
Yes, Russ and Craig.
And I can't remember if anybody else bought anything. I don't even know if
Matt did.
They certainly don't play
but
regularly.
was never able to convince anyone to buy his GAR off
I
of him.
also wanted to make this very specific, and I said their Facebook likes, currently around 2,000, will be more like 5,000. Well, they got to 3,500. So they grew significantly, but not as much as I hoped. There's no DACA forum, and there's definitely not 4 players locally. So in no way is that one even remotely correct. So I get -1. However, Raef disagreed with me, so he gets +1. And Craig, also being optimistic on Antari's.
I was all for it, man.
I know. We tried. Okay.
I like that one. You really went for it on that one.
Sometimes you got to go big.
Yeah.
But anyway, so there you have it. That is the results of our predictions for 2016. Right. So, Craig, what is the final scoring, and who predicted this?
In Russ's universe?
Yes, go ahead.
Raef came in third at 7 points.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Russ came in second at 8 points.
Okay, not impressive.
And I won at 13 points.
Ooh, nice. Now, what about the other universe?
The shift, of course, in the other pant leg is that Russ is in the back at 5 points.
Yes.
And Raef is in second place at 8 points.
Yes.
And I have 14 points.
So in both universes, Craig wins, and the only difference is whether or not Raef or I are second.
And the guy who hates predictions
wins
yet again wins.
He does. He's very good at this. And we have a bonus category, which is predicting who's going to win.
Mm-hmm. And this makes me and you.
This makes.
Go ahead.
Now, what Craig doesn't know is this year we've changed the scoring on this, and this is worth plus
Correct.
20. Plus 20 for this category.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
It means you win the whole thing,
really,
actually.
pretty much.
Cool.
So
an all or nothing kind of thing?
Pretty much double or nothing at this point. So, Raef, who did you predict was going to win this year?
Craig.
Yes. Now, Craig, who did you predict was going to win this year?
I thought it was going to be Raef.
Yes, and I also predicted Craig. So that means Raef and I both predicted Craig.
Yep.
So
now, interestingly enough, like what universe are we playing with? Because in
both universes you won.
Yeah, you win both universes.
No, because in the third universe where I don't get the points for the GW math thing, Russ and I end up tied for first at 9.
Oh.
No, did you? No, I think you said you had 13.
Then
Yeah.
If I get those points for GW, which Raef gave me, I'm just saying that I
didn't. In neither universe did I deny you those points. You get those points in both universes.
Okay, I'm just saying.
Yes. So
I did that, Craig, so I would win the bonus.
Oh, okay, that was very clever of you.
If you went to that universe, then in that universe I win because I get plus. The real rule is
that's
plus
true.
1 point for the bonus prediction.
Oh no, you wouldn't. You wouldn't get that point because you said I won and I didn't win.
Oh, it's a tie. What if you tie for first? Now we need a fifth universe.
So
this is
interestingly enough, I think in that one. In that one, Raef almost comes back.
We have ended now, I think, with 6 universes. There's the universe we forked on my question. Then we forked.
Yeah. This is mainly why Heroes of Tomorrow or whatever the hell it's called isn't doing well.
Then we forked on 2 more with Craig's question, so that's 4 universes.
Yeah.
And then we had to fork again on whether Craig and I won when we were tied in the 1 universe, so that's 6 universes. So we ended up with 6 universes here, in all of which I think I lost.
Hey, Russ. You know what I have a hankering for?
Yeah.
A Krispy Kreme donut.
Ooh, yeah.
Wouldn't that be good right now?
I think
that's
you're right.
A bizarre statement.
All right.
No, for real.
Let's take a break and have some Krispy Kreme. And when we come back,
I wish I had some.
We're gonna have a donut break here. Total Fangirl's going to talk to you guys, and then we'll be back with our predictions for next year.
I got to up my game for 2017.
Yeah, me too. I've already thought of a couple.
This is serious. Raef, we've lost 2 years in a row now. This cannot happen again.
I know. To the non-predictor.
I'm going to check into Russian hackers.
To the agnostic.
To the agnostic.
Exactly. The agnostic predictor.
Wait a minute. I want to see it. I'm going to go back through and see if it's better to agree with Craig or not.
Okay,
that's what I've got to figure out.
All
right.
Well, I did. Yeah. Well, if you look at that, I actually only successfully predicted 3 things.
Well, that's pretty good.
And Raef predicted 2, and Russ in his universe predicted 2.
See?
And in his that's another problem actually right there, because that should be a -1, right?
So
yeah, see, we might need to have Russ do the spreadsheet.
I think there's some Russian hackers in Craig's spreadsheet.
I think so too.
No, in Russ's, it was wrong. In Russ's universe, he had a 4, not a 5.
Okay.
Yeah,
I mean, in the real universe, he had a 4, not a 5.
So in any case, I lost and Raef lost and Craig won, and this is the second year in a row. So that's got to come to an end. We got to get serious about this, Raef.
Yeah, I agree. I'm doing easy ones now.
All right, we'll be right back after.
All right, see ya.
Bye.
This is Total Fangirl. Regular Jane most days, Total Fangirl when the moment strikes. Han shot first. Starbuck is a guy. And Lestat now stares a vampire. Hey everyone, this is Nicole, your Total Fangirl. You can follow me on Twitter at Nicole Wakeland and check out my blog, TotalFangirl.com. This week's shout out is to all of our wonderful supporters over at Patreon. Head to patreon.com/the D6 Generation and you too can support the show. It's been a pretty exciting few weeks if you're a Star Wars fan. Rogue One finally came out in theaters and it is pretty much beloved and roundly praised by everyone. And after all that excitement, Star Wars fans got a giant punch in the gut when actress Carrie Fisher passed away. She played Princess Leia, and I was very sad about this one, as I think you guys could all imagine, and I wrote something about it on my blog to sort of put my words, my thoughts in my head down on a page, and I'm going to read that to you guys. So this is right off my blog and my thoughts the day that Carrie Fisher passed away. I was 7 years old when Star Wars was originally released in theaters. My dad watched on his own first to make sure it wasn't too scary and then took me to see the movie. He covered my eyes when Obi-Wan chopped off Ponda Baba's arm because he thought I'd have nightmares. Star Wars never gave me nightmares. It gave me the power to believe a girl could do anything. 7-year-old me was never into traditional princesses. Disney princesses are great, but they weren't my thing. A princess who defied Darth Vader, fired a blaster, and was on a mission to save the galaxy? Now that was my kind of princess. I dressed up as her at Halloween in a white dress that my mom sewed. She even made Cinnabon hair with a big wig and coils of yarn. It was one of my favorite costumes, and it won me an award in the local Halloween costume contest. I won a popcorn popper and used that thing until it finally died when I was in college. Today, Carrie Fisher died. This comes at the end of a year that saw a constant stream of beloved celebrities dying. They all pulled at my heartstrings, but Fisher's death was the only one that made me cry. I read the news while I was out with my husband having lunch and ended up wiping tears from my eyes in the middle of a Mexican restaurant. Fisher was Princess Leia to my little girl self, and I wanted to be her. I wanted to be that strong and determined and smart. I wanted to do whatever I wanted, even when people said it was impossible. I wanted to be on the side of good, even when bad seemed all-powerful. If Princess Leia could stare down Darth Vader, choke Jabba the Hutt with the very chain that held her captive, and save the galaxy, then a girl could do anything. She proved girls didn't need saving. Girls did the saving. Princess Leia was a character that resonated with me as a little girl and helped make me confident. Sure, my parents had a heck of a lot more to do with me being who I am today than a character played in a movie, but Princess Leia mattered. She mattered a lot. She was the princess I wanted to be when I grew up. I'm a stronger woman thanks to Carrie Fisher's portrayal of Princess Leia, and the world is a little darker without them.
Hey, and now it's time to talk about our friends at geeknationtours.com.
Or as I like to call them, Terrace and Team.
Terrace and Team. They are fantastic. You know, if you want to go find the places to go as a geek, travel with geeks, people who share your interests, making sure things on the tour are exactly the kind of thing that to see that you are passionate about, no matter where you go, what you want to do is head on over to geeknationtours.com and check out all their amazing tours. Click on the tours link, and you will see amazing tours like the Who's Your Doctor Tour, or the Doomed Temples tour, or the Star Trek tour, or the Harry Potter tour.
Sherlock Holmes.
You name it. They have
Journey to Middle Earth.
Right. Or if you want to go to a major convention and want to make sure you go with some people you know, because maybe you're from out of the country, you want to go to Gen Con or Adepticon, and you want to be there with some people who you know, you've met, maybe you can play some games on the side with. Because, you go to a convention, especially if you're going by yourself, and you don't know anyone there, you can get in the tournaments. What do you do afterwards, right? When you're on a tour with Terrace, he hooks you up. He's got side gaming. You're going to meet these people. They're going to share your interests. You're going to have time with them. It's a fantastic venue. So if you're looking at Adepticon this year, there's no better place than Geek Nation Tours. If you want to do some crazy, cool adventures around the world, again, check out Geek Nation Tours. It's just really no.
And it's all kinds of geeks, too. Comic geeks, gaming geeks, bowling geeks, anime geeks. If you're geeking out about something, he's got a tour about it. And it's planned professionally. You're not going to miss anything. You're going to be with like-minded people who enjoy the same thing. And at the same time, you're going to be seeing all these amazing places. It really, really, really is something awesome. If you can do it, this is something that you need to put on your bucket list.
Exactly. And that's all available at geeknationtours.com.
Pew pew.
You're listening to the Dice Tower Network at dicetowernetwork.com. More fun than Merchant of Venus. Wait, what? Who writes these?
Hey, welcome back. And now it's time. You've heard us evaluate how we did in 2016.
Yes.
And now it is time, ladies and gentlemen, to look not back, but forward into the misty future through the veil of time and predict with some form of accuracy that will be determined later what is going to happen in 2017 as it regards to geeky stuff. I'm not going to go into politics or anything else crazy. We've tried that in the past. We flirted with it. It never ends well. We're staying way out of that.
Yep.
So
we tried it in the past. Okay.
Craig made some predictions about the world ending.
We've delved into real world stuff, and we don't.
Countries being destroyed. It was very awkward.
Careers were ended.
It was very awkward stuff. So in any case, first we should probably set the ground rules. They are the same as last year because we think at this point we've got a pattern going that is working out pretty well. So just so you all know, right now, secretly, unbeknownst to each other, the three of us in separate documents have written down 7 predictions each of the future, right?
I've got 8.
Okay. Only get 7.
I've got to decide where to make my cut.
Rule 0. You only get 7 predictions. All right. There are some rules, though, we have to adhere to, and here they are. Rule number 1. All predictions must have a quantifiable final measure. So we must include in our prediction a way to know if it was right or not. You can't just say, a game will do well. That's too vague.
Or gaming will do well.
Yeah, you have to have some kind of better or like, fantasy flight games will have a good year. What does that mean? Does it mean double the revenue? Is it more than 10%? You got to pick some number. Second, rule number 2. Each prediction you make will be worth 1 point if you're correct, plus 1 point for each host who disagrees with your prediction. Right?
Right. That's where you pump up your score.
Right. So if Craig disagrees with me, my prediction's now worth 2 if it's right. And if Raef disagrees with me, it's a 3-point prediction if I get it right.
Big swing.
However, hosts who correctly agree or disagree get a point if correct, and no opinion is an automatic minus 1 point.
Yep. You got to give an opinion.
And if the predictor is wrong, he or she gets minus 1 point. Right.
And that's where we came up with the boosting, because we might do a question and a prediction, and Russ and Craig, if I do it, go, I agree.
Right.
So
you
I
can
made
boost
boosting.
now, right. So one of the things is, if I'm making a prediction, say
pick it up a notch.
Right. So you can't boost if one person disagrees. They both have to agree. If they both agree, then you can boost, make the prediction more unlikely, as it were.
Or tougher to predict.
Right. And then the other two,
more
hopefully,
specific usually,
with the idea that you'll get someone to back out. Right.
Yeah.
And the third rule is that all information you're using to make your prediction must be public. If you have any private knowledge or insider knowledge, you really can't disclose. You can't make a prediction about that sort of thing.
Yeah.
All right. That's them.
Now,
the rules.
very, very quickly, though, I would like to clarify something from last year.
Yes.
From the last segment. My wife works in the financial industry.
Mm-hmm.
So I took her the question about the GW profits. And she agrees with Russ. But in the spirit
Let the record
of
show.
what I meant, the spirit of what, so they're in a worse position because they're still losing money.
Yes.
And so I get it now.
They're hemorrhaging cash, baby.
But they are doing better than they were doing, meaning their trend line is better than it was, which is what I meant.
Which
so
is what
I'm taking it as the spirit of what I meant last year. So I'm taking those points.
It's like if you're on a sinking ship.
I did want to I wanted to forestall all those emails.
Because you know they're coming. Right.
Because she was like, "Oh, Russ is 100% right." I was like, "Shut up!" Almost ruined our marriage. But anyway,
sorry, my bad. All right. So moving on to
now into the future.
All right, round 1, gentlemen. Would you like me to start off?
Yes.
I think we should shake it up a bit.
All right. So Craig has put all the. Now, Craig, have you got the Excel spreadsheet? Oh, you don't have to do this. I'm gonna make notes here.
Yeah, you're gonna take notes. Right. The Excel spreadsheet will be used a year from now.
A year from now. So what I really
I have
do now
it,
is,
but we'll use it a year.
I'm going to, and I am the official note taker. So what I will do is I will type in to our Google document here the actual predictions as you state them.
Yes,
so my
and
first
we
one,
will watch it like
I'm going to cut and paste it from the other thing. So my prediction is, this is my first prediction for 2017 as I look into the future, as I look out into the veil of time, mist of time. Here's what I see. Now, I like to start off, with a softball here. So here's my first one. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I just watched this again today. It was awesome, the original.
Well, you watched Volume 1.
I did. So Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, and I thought of this after watching Volume 1, again for like the 10th time now. I realized Guardians of the Galaxy is probably my most watched film in recent history of a new film. So Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2 will do the same or better than the original Guardians of the Galaxy. That would mean that a Metacritic critic score of over 75. Guardians of the Galaxy. So
we're looking at Metacritic, not any financials.
No, just Metacritic. It will be received by critics. Well, so it's going to be 75
or higher. What
is
Volume 1's Metacritic rating?
75. I'm saying we'll do as
so you're
going to
say better than 75.
I have some interesting intel for Craig if he wants it.
What's that?
I have a movie prediction coming up, and so I was going to give you guys some stats as well. And what I saw was that the second movie, whether it be Iron Man, Avenger, Spider-Man, inevitably does a lot worse.
That's what I would assume.
So it could be.
I am bucking the trend here. I am saying.
A good prediction.
Yes,
now,
I am saying.
So the question is, Raef, I don't know about you, but this would be my position. Do I go with the numbers, with the history, or with my hopes and dreams?
Exactly. I know. I feel the same way. Well, I'm gonna lay it out so that you can maybe decide. I'm going to agree with Russ.
Really?
Yep.
All right,
see, I was going to agree also.
So if you agree as well, that'll give me the opportunity to bump it up.
Yep, I'm gonna agree as well.
All right. Then I'm going to add to this. I'm going to say that it will do financially better as well on opening weekend.
Okay, I disagree.
So not only will the critics like it more, as much as more, but also it will do financially better on opening weekend.
Yeah.
I'm going to agree with Russ.
So Craig
You're still going to agree.
Yep.
So, but I can't.
I mean, I hope that's true.
Yes.
But I disagree.
I can't do anything else. You've disagreed. Okay. That's my first. One's in the can, people. I'm into 2017. Here we go. All right, Raef.
And so Russ begins our downfall for Craig to win.
Here we go. That's right.
All right.
I
had a tough time this year. Some years they just jump right into my head and it's crystal. These I had to dig for a little bit. My first one's tough, but I somehow think it's going to happen.
Okay.
Ryan Reynolds will play a third superhero in 2017.
Huh.
And so far to date, no actor has played 3. There's tons that have played 2.
Yeah.
But not.
And this movie has to come out in 2017?
Yeah, because it's kind of tough because I'm naming the actor.
Will it be announced,
naming it
or
third.
will it be? Yeah, you got to decide if it's announced or not.
Yeah, I'll announce it, right? Because we would know already if it was going to come out. So announced.
Huh.
That's a tough one.
And yeah, I mean, like, there's a lot of comic books that, like, movies that I would never have known were comic book. Like, do you mean like a mainstream comic book?
No, I mean, I do mean it has
Like
to hit a movie theater, not direct to digital.
No, but I mean the comic character has to be mainstream, or could it be like some obscure?
It could be obscure. The vision didn't come to me that clear.
All right.
I don't know, Russ,
know.
What do you think?
I'm gonna disagree because I think he did do. So he's 1-1 right now, right? So he was the Green Lantern, flop.
Yep.
He was Deadpool, success. I think you quit while you're ahead, and you don't want to get typecast. I'm going to disagree.
Yeah, I'm going to do the same.
Yep.
Yep.
If I was in your shoes, I would too. Okay. But for whatever reason,
well, that's a good one.
I felt like it was going to happen.
Could be a 3-pointer. All right, okay. Craig, what are you thinking for your first one?
Okay, I'm starting off slow, and I'm starting off close to home.
All right,
okay. Last year, I think I had 5 Kickstarters, and the year before that, I believe I had 5. and again for the year before that. I'm going to say that this year I will do 2 or fewer Kickstarters. I'm either going to do 0, 1, or 2 tops. If I do 3 or more Kickstarters in the entire year, I lose out.
Now, this is a tricky one because you're doing a prediction about yourself. So you can easily... But I like it because it's hard to resist Kickstarters. So you're saying...
I will. Please,
you're not going to give up a prediction
It's not like we get any prize for winning.
Right.
I'm not going to forego. If somebody's like, you get $1 million for kickstarting this at $10, I'm not going to say no.
Right. It's likely that one of these companies will produce an awesome Kickstarter that's something I don't think... I'm going to disagree.
Okay.
I don't think you can resist that.
This is tough.
Like the worst thing for me, it's going to be like terrain, and then I'm going to be
I disagree. It's a softball. I got this. You can't resist 3. I personally, so for example, if I had informed you about that Meeple Kickstarter, I'd have had you.
I would have been there. Yeah.
Yeah, I can make this prediction false.
That's true. Russ, not.
I own this prediction.
It cuts both ways. Well, you could stop from buying. On the other hand, Russ could just throw stuff at you until you can't say no.
Right, and that would have helped me last year too.
That's true.
The last predictions because I underbid them.
Yeah,
there.
now the question is who can maintain their discipline to win this completely worthless accolade.
So
I disagree to lock you in.
Here's what's tough with Craig.
Yeah.
He's currently frustrated with the amount of Kickstarters he hasn't even opened.
Yeah, but then last night I started playing 1 and almost 2 of them, so I don't know.
Yeah.
Okay, but he has willpower of stone.
But remember,
so
though,
if he's
set. Okay. But Kickstarters.
If he set his mind to this, it could very well happen.
Yeah, this is a sense I have. This is not a goal I have.
No, I know.
All right.
Boy, it's tough. I'm going to disagree.
Okay, a 3-pointer.
There will be a third.
All right.
There
will be a third.
There will be a third.
All right.
Okay, round 1 in the can.
All right. This one, anyway, I just wanted to talk about this one.
Does not feel good about this one.
Well, I had trouble figuring out. I had trouble figuring out how to make this quantifiable, so I went a route that is risky for me. But anyway, so Microsoft has announced there's going to be a new console next year. It's going to be its code name is called Project Scorpio. And my prediction is about Project Scorpio. My prediction is that Project Scorpio will indeed launch next year in time for Christmas. That is their plan, and I'm saying it will. And it will get high critical praise. And so here's my quantifiable part. A, it will be 100% backward compatible with current Xbox One titles. And B, at least 4 of our friends will own one by Christmas.
Ooh. Makes it tough.
At least 4?
Yes.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay, let's see. Russ, Christian. I don't know who the other 2 are.
I count as a friend, so yes, I'm one of them.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to presume that I'm buying one. I may not, though. I may look at it and be like, this is crap.
Now,
I'm not spending $500 on that.
But not if you buy multiple for your household.
No, it's people, not quantity. I can't buy 5 and be like, done. And
well,
much
no,
like Craig,
I don't know if you bought one
money.
for the girls or something.
No, these are not going to be cheap. This is not going to be something you buy 4 of. These are going to be pricey.
Well, you might buy 2, so you can play with your girls.
Okay,
but
maybe.
Anyway, okay. So the Russ household counts as 1.
Yeah, people. So I'm 1. I feel like Will Urban's 1. There's 2. The question is, are there 2 more?
Yeah.
Christian, and then how about Vince? Does he still count? Vince Sarah?
He's a friend.
Okay, that's 4 right there, Craig.
It's got to not suck.
I mean, I might.
See, that's the not suck. You might too, but it's got to not suck. If it's only meh, you won't buy it.
No, I know. I traditionally.
Yeah, but how many of you are going to know whether it sucks or it's just meh before Christmas?
We'll know.
You'll get it when it first comes out.
Right.
Well, I tend
agree.
I tend to wait.
Craig's agreeing.
I'm going to agree. Raef he wrote it right out there. Those 4 people will buy this.
I agree. The tricky part, Craig, is that sometimes they don't launch in time.
Yes, that's the tricky part.
That's
and
true.
I'm saying it's 100% backward compatible, which they've not always done.
Oh, and the backwards. They're totally, because we just had the 1. So that's I like this a lot. You made a really good one.
Do I have
think
to up
it's going
it?
to be backwards.
Okay,
compatible.
tell you what. 5 of our friends.
5?
How about 5? 5 will buy it.
All right, hold on, Russ.
Yeah.
I don't want you to screw yourself either. Do you literally mean 100%? So, like, if one game isn't backwards compatible, I don't think that's what you mean.
I mean,
you
every Xbox One title will work on it. Yes, I do.
Wow.
Every Xbox One title.
I'll go for the disagree.
You will. Did you disagree with 4 or 5 friends? Can I keep it at 4?
No, I would agree at 4.
Okay, so 5 friends disagree. Craig, are you sticking with agree?
I am.
Okay.
I am.
All right.
I feel like you've fallen on your face with 2 of these in a row. I feel like you're
Jeremy will probably get one. Maybe not.
Well,
it's tough.
Moving on.
No, Jeremy's like you just said you were. He jumps in once something's proven. I mean, he just got whatever the latest thing is Xbox that Russ just got.
Yeah. Oh, PS4? Yeah.
Okay, I'll stick with it.
Raef, what is your round 2 prediction for 2017?
All right, mine could be a softball or it could be tough. All right. Giving my history of gaming over the past year.
Okay.
Raef and Russ or Craig. I added Craig to the mix.
Okay.
We'll play 3 games of War Machine in 2017.
With you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because if that's just with anybody, then that's a softball because I played like 20 this year.
Nope,
so if you play 2 with Russ and 1 with me, then you're done.
Correct.
With each other.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, I will agree with that also.
You sure? I don't even think. Remember, Russ, our prediction was 3. We didn't even do that.
Well, I played with Craig twice.
Yeah.
No, with me. Once. I'm the link.
No, but is it any of us, or we had to play 3 games with Raef?
It's
me.
With Raef. Raef has to be in the mix.
Right. Normally, I say Raef and Russ will play, but now Craig counts.
So do you and I play 3 this year? I don't recall. I know in Mark 2.
I haven't played you ever, now that I think about it.
Yeah.
And Russ and I didn't get whatever games we predicted in. We did not play.
I still can't disagree with that. I think it's going to be more War Machine this year. I'm going to agree.
Okay.
Craig, are you disagreeing or agreeing?
Yeah, no, I'm agreeing.
So now let me think about this at a meta level. If I don't play, and I'll be honest, I'm not going to not play a game to tank. But so if I don't play, that means I was right and you guys were wrong. So I'd get 3 points?
No.
You only get 1 point because we both agree with you.
No. If you don't play, Raef,
if you
get -1.
If you don't play, you get -1,
and we get nothing. Yeah, There's no advantage for you in this situation.
That's what I'm trying to wonder.
Because
I'm not sure I'll play 4.
If you don't play 3, then you lose 1 point and we gain nothing.
Right.
If you do play 3, each of us gains 1 point and it's a wash. As it currently
So what you
stands.
need to do is you want to boost it now. You want to boost it.
You need to kick it up
or
a notch.
You just feel like this is a bad
prediction. It is a War Machine question, so boost it would be fitting.
Boost it. Boost it.
All right, here's what I'm thinking. For some reason, I don't want to go to 4. So, and I will play with fully painted armies, fully painted models.
Isn't almost everything you own fully painted?
Not any of the new cool stuff, though, which I've been dying to play.
I sometimes break that rule. So is it you're
I
fully
can't
painted
pick you guys because
all
then
of us are fully painted? You can say no because you can say, Russ, I won't play you unless you're fully painted, and that would make it harder to get the game in. Although I would almost always say yes and play with my painted models. So,
right.
But that's sure. So you're basically saying with the rule of painting, I'm still agreeing with you, Craig.
Yeah, I think I would still agree.
All right, so that's no good of a boost.
Nope. You got to go to 4, dude.
I got a boost. I got a good boost.
Okay.
It'll occur in the first 6 months, first half of 2017.
Oh, then I totally disagree.
But not the painted part now.
Oh, then I agree.
Oh.
I'm leaving it double boosted right now. So Craig will disagree with you if you double boost on painted and first half of the year.
But Russ is going to stay agree?
I haven't decided yet. I'm trying to hear what the prediction is.
What do you guys do if it's not fully painted? Because I might want to play with some new models.
Then I agree. Because I think that's a driver for you.
Yes.
Those new models.
Russ, what about you?
I agree unless you add the first half of the year, and then I still agree.
Wow. Russ is just not letting go.
No.
Wow.
He's a true believer.
This is the War Machine year, Raef.
All right, 4 games.
There we go.
All right. I disagree.
Craig disagrees. I still agree. I think this is going to be happening.
Now we've got to change this a little bit.
What?
The 4 games will be fully painted. Like I might play 8 games.
Everything's fully painted. Yeah.
No,
there will be at least 4 games
fine.
of fully painted stuff, and they'll occur in the first half of the year. Yeah.
But you say all games will be fully painted.
All of the 4, yeah. Right.
All of the 4, yeah.
All right. So, Craig, what is your prediction for round 2?
I'm
Craig.
keeping it local. Yep. I am going to say that Raef, local rock legend, his band will have at least one public gig, meaning in a bar or a local competition that's public, in 2017.
Wow.
Yeah. I think he's making a break for it.
So these are evil predictions, man. These are evil predictions.
I like it.
Now I have to disagree with this.
I would, Russ, because there's not one booked.
Yeah.
And our last one, our singing was meh, so we don't feel like we're ready to go local.
Well,
got a year. We got a year.
What do you think, Raef?
Huh?
What do you think? It's your band. What do you think?
Well, I'm going to agree because it is the goal, but we are not there yet. It's not like we've got one booked for spring. And if we did, like if somebody's like, "Hey, play here," we'd be like, "No, we're not ready."
Yeah, I really can't disagree with a friend's success, so I'm going to agree on this.
Oh, Jesus. 2 public gigs.
2 public gigs.
Okay, and public doesn't mean my backyard because I am going to do that again.
Nope. I mean like someplace where someone you don't know could conceively walk in.
Yeah.
As a natural course of event, not like because they're jogging.
Your backyard
past
is
your
private
house.
property. It's got to be public venue, like
Yes. Yep.
a place of
Some
business
place where people you don't know are going to hear you.
Got it.
All right. Raef, what do you think now?
Oh boy, I'm going to agree just because that'd be fun.
I can only disagree if Raef disagrees. Otherwise, I am dissing a friend. So I will
No, it
also
doesn't
agree.
hurt my feelings. You got to go with your gut.
All right, Craig, what are you going to do now? You're going to go to 3?
Nope, I'm going to go to a new thing. I can't go any further than that because I don't think any starting band would be booking
3. Yeah, that'd be like almost 1 a quarter.
Yep. So get rid of the whole thing.
No, you can't do that.
What do you mean I can't do
there's
that?
There's not an option to change your prediction. You can boost it or not. There's no redo your prediction.
I call foul.
There's no redo. Raef,
I am now locked into this. No.
Yeah, I think I think
there's no redo.
I agree with Russ, but Russ, and I appreciate the pat on the back as a friend, but this skews it because it is a good prediction, but you're not going with your gut because you don't want to diss a friend.
Fine, I'll disagree.
See, now I don't want to put you in that position.
Nope, too late. It's done.
But you're forcing me because you're
moving on.
You're making up rules. I don't see that rule written here.
Yeah, you can't take a prediction back. That's not an option.
Where does it say that?
I didn't know
all of these well-written rules.
Because you can only do
anyway, something we'll have to revisit in the future.
Here's a tip for rules players out there. The rules don't say what you can't do. They only say what you can do. Because if they said what you can't do, then I could pick your miniature up and throw it at you. But I can't because it's not one of the rules I'm allowed to do.
How many times have we heard that in the last 25 years?
That's right. All right.
Oh, well, I can just pick my model up and throw it at you.
Right, because the rules don't say I can't. Whenever someone tells you that, they are not following the rules. All right, moving on. Round 3. Here we go. Round 3. All right, Raef, you ready? It's another video game prediction. Here we go.
Okay.
Whoops. I just messed it up. Okay, here we go. All right. Mass Effect Andromeda. So there's a brand new game.
Oh, God.
Mass Effect is my favorite sci-fi video game of all time.
Yep.
Mass Effect Andromeda, coming out in a few short months, will be the highest rated Mass Effect game ever on Metacritic, according to critics.
I'm going to follow your lead, Raef. So you speak first.
All right, here's my thoughts. Russ does his homework and his research, so then he's heard, and the buzz is that Andromeda is going to be awesome.
Yeah, but this is not safe. This is Mass Effect 3 was the lowest rated. They went down progressively.
Yeah,
so
I know, but I wasn't finished with my Russ prediction. All right, so he tends, but Russ is also a very Pollyanna about things that he likes.
Yes.
So
yes, that's fair.
It'll probably do better than 3, but it might not do better than 1 or 2. Which one was rated higher, 1 or 2?
I believe 1. I'll have to go look, actually. I think 1 was the highest. I'll look it up while you discuss.
How long? When was the last Mass Effect produced?
2 years ago? Hang on.
When did 3 come out? Like 3 years ago?
All right. So 2 was 94. 94 rating. 3 was 89. And the first one was 89. Oh, the second was the highest rated one. The second one, they're all pretty old.
Craig, we're going to agree with this one.
Yeah?
All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Well, look, okay, ready? Here we go.
Yep.
It went from 89 to 94, so he's lying.
Yeah.
Back to 89.
Yes.
Depending on... Oh, it's also dependent upon platform.
Right.
So you need to put the platform down because the ratings change based on platform.
Xbox. For Xbox.
I agree.
So Xbox... I'm looking for Xbox. It went from 91 to 96, so he's still lying.
Yeah,
that's what he said.
No, he said it went down progressively.
Oh.
To 93.
Right.
So they've been trending up. So you're gonna say it's better than 96?
Yes.
Yep.
It's gonna be higher than 96. Okay, I disagree.
There we go. That's what I'm talking about.
I am slightly resentful that I had to do all that work myself, Russ.
Hey.
Raef,
are you still agreeing?
Play with the big boys now.
Are you still agreeing, Raef?
Yeah, I agree.
All right. Good. I love it. Okay. Raef, round 3. What is your prediction, sir?
I'm curious to see what you guys think of this one.
Yes.
I will play Shadows Over Brimstone with anybody 4 times in 2017. And just to help with some info, I have not played Shadows of Brimstone with the Portsmouth crew, I think the last 3 months, because Greg's 3.5 keeps moving around and stealing the date.
Now I thought...
So I had... Go ahead.
Didn't we have a prediction about this last year and you were right?
I was right last time. Yep.
Yeah. So you're saying you're...
Wasn't this exactly the same prediction?
I feel like
I don't recall. Was it 4 times?
It was pretty close to this.
Was.
It was
so I would agree with this.
Yeah, I would agree with this also because you've already demonstrated your passion to this game.
I'm going to do 5 times.
All right. Craig, what do you feel about that?
I feel like he said 4 times in 2016, and I feel like the document said 4 or 5 times, so I'm going to still agree. And the fact that he hasn't played in the last 3 months, I think, makes it more likely he'll play in the near future.
I'm also going
I don't have one scheduled too, if that helps.
I'm going to disagree. I don't think.
Oh, okay.
I don't think he can pull in. I don't think he can pull in the 5th time.
Yep, the 5th time could be the breaker.
I feel like it is. All right, Craig, round 3 prediction. What do you got?
Yes. Okay. I am. This is very close to your round 1 prediction.
Okay.
Okay. On December 15th, 2017, Star Wars Episode 8, yet to be named, will open strongly. I'm going to say at least within 10% of The Force Awakens in either Rotten Tomatoes audience score or Box Office Mojo opening. So it doesn't have to beat Episode 7, but it's going to be within 10% in at least one of those 2 signifiers, not necessarily both. You know, I can cut and paste that. It's a lot if you want me to.
Okay, go ahead and do that. So you're saying you're saying Star Wars Episode 8 will open on December 15th, 2017. And you'll say it will be in 10% of opening weekend dollars of The Force Awakens on either of these 2 websites, either Rotten Tomatoes
It'll be within 10% of the money or 10% of the audience rating. Yes.
I'm going to agree with that.
I'll agree. That's easy.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a softball.
All right.
That's a softball.
Yeah. 10%, huh?
You have to narrow it.
I think
5%.
5.
Yeah, I think 10% is not a softball.
Why not? You don't think it's going to be better or worse?
I think it's going to be great, but as Raef said earlier in this segment, the trend is always downward after the after a
but
first
not for
movie. Star
Wars because you just had
no
Rogue One do well.
I don't I disagree with my own prediction at this point.
Craig, that's how I feel about
all All right.
The War Machine one.
5%. 5%.
5%.
Huh. Well, okay. Was Rogue One within 5% of Force Awakens?
No, not even close. No, it was between 50 and 75%.
No, but Rotten Tomatoes
of almost every signifier.
Rotten Tomatoes too?
Yeah.
Well, you're saying it was only half. The problem is your
for the
critic
rating
score.
wise.
The
yeah,
problem
for
is
the
your critic
rating
score.
wise.
It's
Yeah,
not
no,
the
no,
money.
no. I will look it up. Let me
critic
look it up.
score is making this a softball. I think it's going to be within 5% on critics.
That's
bothering me.
Well, let's see. Rotten. Okay. And if I put in,
because I feel like it's not that much.
Oh, there's Carrie Fisher.
I feel like it's the same thing.
Okay, so Force. Oops, where am I?
Plus your or makes it because you could be wrong on the one.
Right, that's what I'm saying. All that really matters is the easier one, and the easier one is the critic score.
Right.
I think
Force Awakens.
Yep.
I mean, Rogue One is at 85%.
Yep. And I think Force Awakens was mid-80s also.
No, I think
10% is 8 points or whatever.
Force Awakens was at 92%. So that is 10%,
Yes.
but I'm saying 5% now.
No, now you're saying 5%. So,
yeah.
Raef, what do you think with 5%? How do you feel about that?
I guess I'm thrown by the two different metrics.
He's saying
like
either one. He's saying it'll either be within 5%.
I will drop the money because I don't think that it's going to come close to the money.
Yeah, I don't think so either. I don't think the money's irrelevant. It's the
drop the money.
Well, if you drop the money, it makes your question easier. I mean, it makes you more likely. It'd be boosting it to drop the Rotten Tomato score and keep the money.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll stay within 10% of the money.
There you
How's
go.
that?
Now I disagree.
Okay.
But get rid of the Rotten Tomato stuff.
Yeah. In Box Office Mojo opening weekend take.
Yes.
I agree with Craig.
Still agree.
Yep.
All right.
It's going to do better because, well, no, I'm not going to say why. So then Russ will change his mind.
I know why. Yes, I hear you. You're probably right about that.
Yeah, I did think that might affect it. But
it can't be. If it's more than 10%, he's also wrong. It's got to be inside 10%, which is interesting.
No, it's got at least within 10. At least within 10%.
Yeah.
At least within 10% means if it beats it, I still win.
No, if it beats it by 20%, you lose.
That's not what he's saying.
Yeah, it is.
No, I'm not.
You don't speak Craig.
I'm saying. Okay, it's going to do 10% less or better.
Yes.
Than The Force Awakens.
Right. If it beats The Force Awakens, Craig wins the prediction. Is how he wants it to be.
That's how it would be, at least within 10%.
I'm adding the or more. I thought you were trying to say it's going to be very similar. Right?
Yeah, no, that's only
I don't know how
you
you word similar.
No,
okay?
that one I'm not going to, Okay. Look, if that does it for you, then.
All right.
That's great radio, by the way. As we edit the doc and throw snarky comments.
You're going to get some emails about the word within, but I think you're okay. All right. Round 4. Here we go. Here's my prediction for round 4. All right. Titan Wars, now on to board games, people. Let's get this thing real. Titan Wars, the board game, will do well. And at least 3 copies will be owned by our group, and the BGG rating will end up higher than Battle Lore, either edition. I don't care which. First or second.
What's Titan Wars?
Yeah, I have no idea.
Titan Wars is a brand new board game that's going to feature sort of like kaiju fighting with some interesting card mechanics. It's got this whole thing coming together. Agree or disagree?
Produced by who?
At your peril.
I disagree.
Titan Wars Coastal Defender? Is that what you're talking about?
Yes.
So it already has a BGG rating.
It's not out yet.
Oh, no, it doesn't. It's Dash. You're correct.
Yep.
45 to 80 minutes, huh?
Yep. So I'm saying it's gonna come out, and it's gonna have 3
and
copies.
And it's not
locally.
a Kickstarter?
It's not as far as I know. It's not a Kickstarter. So what do you think? Craig, Raef has already disagreed, so I'm locked in.
I disagree.
Craig, what are your thoughts?
When is it due out?
Spring-ish.
Oh, so this year.
Yeah. Well, you know how they predict board games. I mean, it's like,
Yeah, I'll disagree. This can be your big one.
All right, I'll take it.
Yeah,
when you're
this is
playing
like
it with me,
C-ball or
you
whatever
can
it
be
is.
like, I don't mind losing. This game's awesome. All right.
Okay.
Raef, what is your round 4 prediction?
Mine is the new Spider-Man,
Yep.
Homecoming, which comes out 7/7/2017. Will score 90% or above on the tomato meter on Rotten Tomatoes. And for comparison, Iron Man 1 scored 94, and Marvel's The Avengers scored 92.
See, I like this prediction, Raef, because it's easy to understand.
Mm-hmm.
So let's see here. So 90% on the new Spider-Man. What did you say Iron Man was?
Iron Man was 94.
The original Iron Man?
Yep, Iron Man 1.
Yep.
And Marvel's The Avenger was 92.
That's a good
And I'll-
prediction.
I'm going to tell you, I'm like with Craig. I'm going to tell you why it might not even hit 90. Because I think people are probably sick of Spider-Man. And just because I love Spider-Man, I don't think it has as wide appeal as like Iron Man does with Robert Downey Jr.
That's true.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think.
But he's in it.
Yeah,
He's in it.
I think I'm wondering if there's going to is this now the tomato meter is the critical score, not the user score, right? You're talking about the critics,
Yeah, the tomato meter, not the audience
right?
score.
Now this is interesting because I think the critics might be getting tired of superhero movies. And so sometimes when that happens, they kind of ding them. You know, kind of used to not like sci-fi, and sci-fi always sucked, even if it was good.
Yeah,
I'm kind of
yeah,
getting
I agree.
nervous that we're going to get a backlash on this whole superhero thing. So I don't know. This is a tough one for me. What do you think, Craig?
I'm going to disagree.
There you go. It's locked in.
Yeah. For all the reasons that Raef convinced me. He's
I know.
wrong.
I'm disagreeing
It's-
also. Yeah.
I thought it was on the edge.
Well, that's the interesting thing about this game is you want to talk your opponents into how bad your prediction is, so they disagree with you. It's a brilliant mechanic. I love it.
It is.
All right, Craig, what is your round 4
Okay,
prediction?
ready for this?
Yeah.
This is I'm betting on failure.
Okay.
Okay, this is a big one, but it's going to be very
Kind
easy
of dark.
to codify.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oops, wrong buttons. Okay. In 2015, Russ and I went all in on Beyond the Gates of Antares, meaning we had very large, elaborate armies,
We do.
despite really not having had it on our radar at all in 2014.
True.
In 2016, we went all in on Conflict 47, meaning we had huge, extensive armies, despite it not being on anyone's radar in 2015.
True.
The prediction is in 2017, so a year from now, there will be no minis game that gets both of us all in that we don't already have minis for. And I have Blood and Plunder minis already and Mantic, but I don't think Mantic's going to be a big, giant game. But there's going to be no game,
Disagree.
minis war game.
Agree.
Oh, really? Okay, right.
I
up
can already
front.
tell
Okay.
you the game it's going to be even.
You can. What?
I can tell
You can tell
the
me
game.
what the game
Yes.
is going to be.
I can tell you the game.
What is it?
And
gonna
you
be?
might claim it's not a miniature game, but you're going to be wrong because they're actually calling it a miniature game.
What's
Rune
that?
Wars, the miniature game, is going to make this prediction fail.
Okay. Anything I get for free from Fantasy Flight Games for that doesn't count.
No, that's
No.
that's not what your prediction says.
That counts.
That counts.
Right,
If
but
I
for me
buy
to be
in-
all in, I have a whole army, like an extensive army to choose from, not just the models I need to field a small force, all painted, and I'm excited, and we've got multiple games and blah, blah, blah.
Right, I'll buy
Okay.
in because I'm going to be excited. Rafe might buy in. You're going to buy. You're going to
Right,
you're gonna
all
get
in
some
means you're
set
so
for
excited.
free.
You're already
Yeah,
building
right.
terrain for it.
Oh, yeah.
You
that's
don't
gotta
want to
happen.
buy the add-ons, but you do.
Oh yeah, I'm in on
Damn
that.
it, I forgot.
Now, I think there's a
about that.
small typo, although I don't think it matters.
Yeah.
I
What's
think
that?
the second 2016 is supposed to be
Is supposed to be
2015.
2015, but actually, all that is preamble.
Yeah, it's preamble.
Doesn't matter.
The prediction is
Exactly.
Oh, you know what? We bought Conflict 47 this
that.
year. Yeah. All right. I love it. That's a great prediction, Craig.
That's a great one. Yep.
I love it for a lot of reasons. Not
We
the
got
only-
that in the bank,
The least of
Russ.
which is the free point, right?
Yeah, that's a free point.
All right. All right.
That one right there might change
You know
my
what?
bonus.
That one might just be I'm out of spite. I might
All
just not get into that one.
Round 5. Now, reason I had to say disagree to your question, Craig, I'm not just mocking you because check out my round 5 prediction. Are you ready?
Yes, I'm ready.
Rune Wars, the miniature game. Oh, look. Here it is. But unlike you, I'm not a negative Nelly. No. Rune Wars, the miniature game, will be a solid rule set and will release before or at Adepticon 2017. Both Craig and Russ will buy a copy, and at least one additional faction will be released by the end of the year.
Oh, okay.
Boom.
So
well, I'm going to agree with that.
buying a copy.
Well,
the additional faction,
I get a copy for free.
Okay,
So
the additional faction, though, is the tricky part. Because Fantasy Flight has notoriously not done that quickly. And I'm saying here for this one, because in the core set only comes with 2 factions.
Yes.
So I'm saying they are not going to make this mistake a third time, because they have for twice. They're not going to make this mistake a third time. Instead, this time, they're going to figure this mistake out, and by the end of this year, by the end of 2017, they will have released a third faction.
I like this prediction, Russ.
But by the words right now, I disagree because I'm not going to buy a copy.
Well, hold on.
Why didn't you
I'm going to help you and Russ out on this one.
Clarify that.
It could possibly be, Craig. I don't know when you get your free copy, but you could be at Adepticon and you don't have your free copy yet, and you love it so much that you just go ahead and buy a copy.
I'm going to put
thinking.
Historically, I would get my copy before.
Let me say own a copy. Let me put own a copy.
Okay, own a copy. Okay, but
because I don't know, they could send us a review copy or something. We usually give those away,
Right.
so I don't know. But let's put own in there because I didn't know you could get a free one. And that's insider information, so it has to be disclosed. So
I
then
just
at least
disclosed it.
You know, I appreciate it. No, thank you.
Okay.
I'm saying no, you're doing the right thing.
No, he's saying you did the right thing.
Okay, all right.
But here's the big. I think the big kicker here is the additional faction coming up at the end of the year.
I still agree. I do not have any, I didn't know when the game was coming out. I didn't know it was going to be at Gen Con preview, whatever.
I'm saying
so
Adepticon.
I don't have anything else to blame the basis on, but I believe from what I feel, and I haven't been told anything, but I feel like they know this is an important thing for them. They're trying to establish themselves in a new realm.
That's what
and
you're
I
saying.
feel like they are going to make a big push to get that released. So I'm still going to.
I have one.
Wait, one thing, Craig. You said Gen Con. I'm saying Adepticon.
No, I know.
Much
I meant
earlier than a Gen Con.
I didn't even know it was going to be in the preview case at Gen Con, is what I'm saying. I don't. Once you finish writing for Fantasy Flight, you don't know when anything's going to happen.
So you're agreeing with me that it's going to be out in boxes available to buy at Adepticon 2017, and there'll be an additional faction by the end of the year.
Oh, Adepticon. Yeah, that's a good one.
Hey, Russ, we got a problem.
Yes, Raef.
How is a solid rule set defined?
Ooh, that's
that's not. That's not.
Oh,
that's
but that's not the.
That's preamble.
Yep.
The
Put
measurable.
preamble there or
the
something.
measure. Well, it doesn't matter. Well,
it does matter.
I'll just get. Well, no, that's just. Normally, when I predict things, I say things I want to say, and then I predict.
I know, but that gets us into trouble.
Here we go. We'll release
There we
before.
go.
There we go. So now the prediction is Rune Wars, the miniature game, will release before.
I agree.
Or at Adepticon 2017.
I agree.
And both Craig and I will own a copy, and there'll be a new faction. And you're both agreeing, huh?
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was hard. Because they've done so bad with the factions in the past. I really didn't think that was guaranteed.
Yeah, but they learned their lesson.
Have they? I don't know. I hope so. Wow, how do I make this harder? Let's see. Adepticon.
How about a board game geek rating? That'll help you with a solid rule set.
BGG hates miniature games, though. Miniature games never have. I would say, okay. They really do. Like War Machine's like a 6 or something ridiculous. I'll give them a BGG rating of 7.
Okay.
Does that help?
And they traditionally hate miniature games, like War Machine has a 6.
If you look at BG, their rating for miniature games, they're generally not very good.
All right, is there a different, better measuring metric then?
Not really. There's no other metric for miniature gaming. I know that's like the standard. That's an opportunity that rates miniature games in a reasonable way. But anyway, so I don't know. I'm trying to make this harder. Let me think.
All right, the BGG rating's hard then because
let me call that a 7. Does that change anything?
No, because I don't. Yeah, you're right. If they don't really rate it, then it's hard to.
I mean, they do rate it, but I don't.
Yeah, because it'll just be users rating it.
Yeah, it'll be there.
Might not be fair though. In other words, because they don't play it, so they just rate it.
No, well, it's a board game. They will for this because it's boxed as a board game, so people are going to think of it as it's like X-Wing. Right? X-Wing's a miniature game, but BGG rates it. You know.
Yeah, yes. This is
okay.
The next step in leading people down.
What does X-Wing get?
I don't know. Let's see.
That helps me.
Game.
That helps me decide where rule rules will fall.
Board game geek. Let's see what they've got for X-Wing.
7.9.
See, they don't like miniature games.
Okay,
What's that,
all right.
7.9?
So that game is awesome.
Yeah, right.
So I will disagree.
Oh, good. Okay, perfect. I love it. So disagree, Craig. Are you sticking with your prediction?
All of the I'll disagree.
All right. So it's got to come out at or before Adepticon. We've both got to own a copy. At least additional faction by the end of 2017 and BGG
That's
rating.
a lot. That's a
All right.
lot.
All right.
All right, I need a little interaction with Russ here to make my round 5 prediction.
Oh, here we go. Oh, God.
So here's my prediction, but don't type it yet.
Okay.
Russ will play another, different than he's already playing now, dungeon crawl game. So what I understand he's played is the Privateer Press one, this new Seafaring one.
That's
not a dungeon crawl.
What is it?
That's a 4X ship game.
But it's a campaign where you play over time, right?
Well, it's a campaign, but do you mean dungeon crawl or campaign?
I don't know. What do you consider Descent?
Descent's a dungeon crawl.
Both. It's both.
Yeah, Descent's a dungeon crawl with a campaign, but
I guess
Legacy Risk is a campaign with no dungeon. It's a take over the map.
So here's what I'm trying to say is that
Seafall, same thing.
You're really good at playing
campaigns.
These campaign/dungeon crawls.
Okay, make it a campaign. Call it a
But
campaign.
most of the examples aren't dungeon crawls.
Okay. So I'm trying to help get the right words.
Gotcha.
What I'm saying is Russ will play yet another brand new one that I don't even know exists yet. That he will play with a group of people multiple times.
With multiple times with people. Okay. So let me read this back because it's pretty vague. Russ will play another parentheses different campaign game other than what I'm playing now multiple times with people.
And played in the past. So
Wait.
it's not going to be Descent. It's not going to be Privateer
It's something new. It's
going to be something new.
Well, you're
A new game with a campaign system.
Now, let me
Yes.
just state a couple things here because I'm going to have to agree with this. Agree with this right out of the bat because it's a softball to me. So I've kickstarted a game called Widower's Wood, which is a standalone game set in the Iron Kingdoms universe. So I will probably play that when it gets shipped this year.
And that's a campaign type of game?
Yes, it's like Iron Kingdoms Undercity. It's compatible with Undercity, so there's one. And there's many other campaigns. I have the Conan game, which I haven't played yet as a campaign, but I'll probably play that as a campaign at some point this year.
Okay, keep going.
So I don't know. I mean, are those the kind
So
of things
you will
you're
play
talking
two. You'll play that one and the Conan one.
about? That plus I'll continue the ones I'm playing now.
Or
Plus,
can I suggest a way to kick
Yeah.
it up, Rafe?
Yeah.
Something that he doesn't know about yet. And he knows about both
perfect.
of those.
Yes, that's what I
did?
like that.
Yeah, okay. It will be a game Russ didn't know about in December of 2016.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. I like that.
Is it better to just say it won't be the one he kickstarted or Conan?
No, because I know about those.
you-
I like that. I'll be honest about whether I knew about it or not.
You know,
Okay.
help
I'm still going to agree with that, though, because I like Snap Up. If any kind of campaign game comes out this year, I don't know of any, which would be good, because if I did, it wouldn't be true. But I'm trying to think. There must
But
be.
notice I didn't just say buy. Play means you get a group
No, I'd have
involved in
to
it.
play. It doesn't mean I'm going to. Do you think we're going to finish the campaign, like play it all the way
No.
to the end?
No.
Because that's the reason I
You'll play
failed
more
on
than one game, though.
Okay. More than one game. Yeah, okay, fair enough. I don't know, Craig. What do you think?
I think I'm going to agree where it is now.
Yeah, I think I have to agree
I
with
think
this now, too.
to disagree, I would say you'd have to say 2, and we would have to come up with with worded verbiage that we can agree on that indicates that Russ is
All right, it won't be 2.
establishing a regular.
But yeah,
like,
he'll play it 3
it-
times
it's-
or more.
We could say dedicated
it's
group. I do
dedicated
have a
group.
dedicated with a dedicated,
with a dedicated group that plays it 3 or more times,
Yes,
but still you're only saying one new game.
correct.
Because I'm still going to agree with one game is like he's going to come up with one game.
But he's already got these other ones,
So
which he won't
just-
bail on.
Yeah, but just so to know, right? So this past year, I played level 7, and I was Imperial Assault this year. I can't remember. And then I also played. I feel like it's older than that. But I played Seafall, and I started Legacy Risk this year. So there's 3 but I knew about them going into the year. So maybe I'm gonna disagree with this, even without 2.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So one new game that you don't know about right now that you play at least 3 times.
You got to make it 2. If you make it 2, Rafe, I'll disagree.
Nah, 2. There's not going to be 2 that you don't know about. 4 times or more.
4 times?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's getting tricky now because Seafall we didn't get to 4 because it just came out so late in the year. Craig, what do you think? Can you disagree with that?
You haven't played Seafall more than you've played Seafall twice just in this past 2 weeks.
No, I've played it more than 4 times now. Yeah, that's true. Never mind. Barely, though. They almost didn't make it.
No,
right.
But
this has to be a brand new one.
But Russ is not like the rest of you guys, Rafe. When he commits to a game, he does it for a stretch of time. He doesn't do like once a month or whatever.
I know.
So
but he's already got Legacy Risk and Seafall.
Yeah, this is too. Which Craig's saying is too easy. He's going to agree with it again.
I'm still going to agree.
I kind of want to agree with this too. You got to make it 2 games, Rafe. 2 different games.
If you say 2 different games, you can drop it down to 3, and I'll say yes.
Yeah.
No, because there's not going to be 2 different brand new games that pop out.
Okay.
That's the problem.
Then I'm agreeing with what you've got
so
right now.
So I'll say 5 times.
5 times. All right, now you're getting hard. I'll disagree with 5. Just 3 a bone, Rafe.
Oh, damn it.
And Craig's agreed.
I would have held out for 6. No. I'm not deciding it. Now I'm on the bubble, but I would have held out for 6 for a softball.
That's cheating.
No, it's not cheating. I feel like you guys did the same to me without no one mentioned.
I love the meta.
Moon Wars of the Miniatures game.
The meta's great. Well, come on. How did you not know you wrote the frickin' fluff?
I forgot. I forgot. Okay,
come on.
I'm sorry. It's late.
It sounded like a type of actor.
What was that? He did. He sounded like Gilbert Godfrey there.
Yes,
Gilbert Godfrey.
That was it.
You channeled Gilbert Godfrey perfectly.
I did.
It was like,
oh my God. Really, I was flattered from it. You sound like an actor. Oh, really? Well, thank you, Gilbert Godfrey. Oh, thank you very much.
A very well-known actor. He played the parrot.
Not something that anyone would want to be.
Iago, the game reviewer.
Eyes.
He played Iago.
Oh my God!
Aladdin,
shut up and let me think.
All right.
Phenomenal. I'm going to say do I give it? I disagree.
Disagree.
Yeah.
All right, there we go. Rafe's got a 3-pointer here.
Yeah, there you go.
All right, Craig.
5 times.
I'm wiping the tears from my eyes here. What did you predict in round 5?
So round 5.
Right.
Okay. I did some research.
Yeah.
And this one's all math, and it should be easy.
Okay.
And currently the games category on Kickstarter has a 33.95% success rate, which I thought was kind of pathetic. Okay, slightly below the average of 35.81%, which starts to make me think maybe all these people have a thing that something right when they're talking about Kickstarter. But I think Kickstarter's on a decline games-wise.
All right.
And I think by this time in 2017, that number for game Kickstarters is going to have fallen. So it will be below 33.95%. Not the same or above.
This is, other than it being dark, I do like this prediction.
I like this prediction.
Yeah, I like this a lot. So, Rafe, what do you think?
I'm going to disagree.
Yeah, oh man, this is a tough one. This is a really good prediction, Craig. I like this one a lot. I'm going to, I'm accusing it of being dark, so therefore I must look to the light, and I will disagree.
Okay. Thanks, Jedi.
I will say I live in the shadows to protect the light. I am the assassin.
There you go. All right.
Okay, a good one. Okay.
So I do think
that was a good one.
Yeah,
I like the one. Round 6. Okay.
Yep.
We've all been talking about superheroes. I haven't talked about superheroes yet. Now it's time for my favorite. One of my all-time favorite superheroes is now going to be available as a show. And I would be remiss not to predict about him, so I will. My prediction is that Iron Fist will be great. And here's how this is what I do, right?
I think you should just leave it at that.
It will be great. And here's why.
According to Russ.
And we'll get renewed, and it will have over 75 on Metacritic's critic score. Also, as a bonus, Luke Cage and Jessica Jones will also not be canceled. This is to avoid the whole confusion we had last time. Will not be canceled by the time we do predictions next. So we had a bit of discussion about that earlier this episode. So anyway, there's my prediction. Iron Fist will be great. It will get renewed with over 75 on Metacritic, and Luke Cage and Jessica Jones will also not be canceled.
And do they normally announce if it's renewed in the first season? They'll let us know within the year?
We knew the disagreement we had last time, earlier this episode, was that...
was a typo.
It was a typo, because I predicted it would be getting... What I meant to say was an additional season. I wrote in third when Jessica's only on her second, and so that was the issue.
So
but you'll know by December. Craig's agreeing. I gave it an E.
I agree, because Luke Cage is at 79, and Jessica Jones is at 81.
What I'm saying is Iron Fist will be a little worse, potentially, but not a lot worse.
Mm-hmm.
Raef, what do you think? Are you going to give me the chance to boost it, or are you going to lock me in with a disagreement?
Well, I am thinking that we are getting a little over superhero.
See, that's what I feel like. That's why I had to go down to 75. I feel like there's going to be a backlash soon. I don't want there to be. Don't get me wrong. I'm loving this stuff. I just feel like there might be.
What's Daredevil at on Metacritic, please?
I'm looking, and all I can find is video games and the Ben Affleck movie.
So Daredevil Netflix.
There it is.
I can't type because I have to hold
75.
my microphone.
75.
Daredevil 75. You got to type in Marvel's Daredevil.
Okay, so it has to equal Daredevil?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
No, it doesn't, actually. It has to be over 75.
Over 70, yes. That's to beat Daredevil.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I will disagree.
There it is. I'm locked in. All right. Raef, what is your round 6 prediction, sir?
Round 6 is, I have like a goofy one, but it did come to me, or I have kind of a, in the same genre, sort of a boring one. So I'll do the goofy one first. Sorry, Craig. It just came to me.
Okay.
Reese will be sparring with Craig in karate and accidentally kick Craig in the nuts.
Already happened. It's already happened.
Like you see on like those video shows. It'll happen again in 2017.
I agree.
How are you going to kick this one up? See what I did there? Private parts. All right. So we're saying that Reese will be sparring with Craig in karate, and he will kick Craig in the privates.
Now, you don't mean like officially in the dojo. You just mean like messing around in the house, right?
Whatever you would consider sparring. If you're just messing around and having a tickle fight, that doesn't count. I mean, you're like, come on, Reese, let's practice sparring.
He does. Okay, then I disagree because he doesn't spar.
What?
They don't spar at 6.
He'll be 7.
He will be 7 for 6 months of 2017.
All right, and do they spar at 7?
I don't know.
Well, Craig,
I do not know.
Craig, are you taking karate with Reese?
I am not taking karate with him, so I wouldn't be sparring anyway.
Yes.
So it'd be more like
you're
at
saying
home.
Like,
well,
right.
Craig
I get the
karate.
sense of your question.
Yeah.
But at the level he's in now, and I don't believe they start sparring for many years. I don't think they start sparring till they're like.
Would you spar with someone who doesn't
in their teenage years? What?
Reese will be practicing karate.
Right.
So I don't mean a tickle fight. I mean you're like he's practicing.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You're like helping.
On me?
Yeah, you're like helping.
I'm still going to agree.
All right.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, I agreed, and then when we nailed it to sparring, I disagreed. I'm back to agreeing again.
Agreeing with practicing, kicked in the privates. Wow, this is pretty...
Or actually, does it have to be a kick?
Mm-hmm.
Because then I would disagree because he can't reach that high.
It has to be a kick.
Okay,
it has to be a kick.
Okay, then I disagree.
Disagree. All right. You know, I'm going to agree.
I love it.
I just feel like I should.
It's going to happen.
All right.
All right.
All right. So, Craig, what is your round 6 prediction?
Okay, well, to be fair and in full disclosure, we should say that I had a phenomenal question for round 6. It was awesome.
It was pretty good.
It was huge.
It was
the best prediction ever.
It was pretty good.
But in true professionalism, Raef had some inside knowledge about the question, and he did not reveal that inside knowledge to us, but he revealed that there was inside knowledge, so I had to scrap the best question ever. No shade on Raef.
Right.
And so I did have an extra one just in case that I put together as a joke that I will now dump in here as my number 6.
All right, go for it. What do you got?
Okay, and that is... Ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
You could probably even guess where this is going.
All right, here we go.
Okay. I am going to say that Games Workshop's profit number will be higher than -2%. And that means that the number next to the profit entry in their financial report will be higher than -2%.
Okay. All right.
That's
all right.
More quantifiable.
I like that. The number works. What do you think about Raef? That's an interesting prediction.
I feel like you're closer to the pulse on what Games Workshop may be doing. I think I might just follow your lead.
Yeah, I think they've done. I think they have done okay lately. You know what I saw the other day? I saw GW model kits in a hobby store that was not a gaming store. So it was actually in a comic. I was in. Was it Newberry Comics? I can't remember what I was. And there was a GW model kit. But it wasn't a GW model kit with any rules. It was a GW model kit, and it came with paints and a brush, and it was done up with different artwork than normal, and it was designed to be like, you buy a tank model or a sci-fi model or a model of the Enterprise. It was buy yourself a little, GW land speeder, whatever it was. I thought it was interesting.
Okay.
So yes, I'm going to agree with this. I think they're getting ready to make their turn. I'm going to agree.
Yeah, I'm going to agree too.
All right, Craig, what are you going to
Really?
do? Craig's like, no, that was no. You're supposed to hate them.
I feel kind of like you guys should have thrown me a bone on this one, but
nope.
Okay.
Nope.
Mercy's for the weak, Craig, as my daughters say.
All right. Well, in that case, I will say that number is going to be positive. How's that?
Ooh.
It's going to be 0 or positive. It's going to be neutral or positive.
Okay. Will not be negative. How's that? That's how we say that.
It will not be negative.
Will not be negative. All right.
Their profit will not be negative.
Right. Well, actually, yeah. Will not be negative. Raef, what do you think about that? Craig,
I will disagree because it could be some stuff in the past gets posted now.
I think you should get points for sticking with them, Craig. I'm going to disagree also.
Assuming
you learn how to use a
bunch of
text
editing
editor.
mistakes.
There you go. Want me to fix it?
No, I got it.
Okay. Will not be negative. You can just get rid of the... Yeah. Okay.
Ooh, Russ disagrees too.
I do. I think, well, I want Craig to get good points for that. He's really sticking with GW on this. So we'll go for the broke there. All right. Round...
Craig, that's just what Russ says, but he knows the math is like millions of dollars.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
So he's
all right.
He's like, they think 2% is a small number, but it's really big.
Round 7. The final round.
Mm-hmm.
Here we go. My prediction. Here it is. I wanted to do something that was a little more. I feel like I haven't done one that's really talking about, paradigm shifts. So I wanted to get a paradigm shift in. So I felt like 2017 could be the year of a paradigm shift. And here's what I think. In fact, I almost broke down and got one of these this year, and I did not. But I'm so on the edge. So 2017 will be the year that we start to see 3D printing impacting our hobby in exciting new ways beyond just rapid prototyping. So right now what we're seeing is 3D printers are being used to rapidly prototype models and stuff. Mm-hmm. Like when we were at SteamCon, Craig and I got to see a Dark Souls game that was completely 3D printed the night before, and as well as one of the models someone mocked up. People designed a model and mocked up that was shipped to the convention not overnight, right? So that's and you get models that look quality of almost miniature, produced quality. So it looks great. But here's what I'm saying. So today's libraries of terrains and tokens are free right now. You can go online on Thingiverse and stuff, and you can find stuff for that. But by the end of 2017, there will be at least one major gaming company that is selling licensed 3D printable products. Okay, and there will be at least one fully printable new miniature board game or miniature game available entirely as a 3D print and play.
I need you to define major.
Yeah, I was just going to say
there's been several Kickstarters that had stretch goals that were 3D printing files and stuff like that.
So no,
I really like this though, Russ. This is good. We just have to quantify it.
This is not, and as a bonus, you get these files. This is like I can go pay to print out a Privateer Press 3D,
Right.
An extra model for my army, or maybe just a Privateer Press token that's licensed essentially, or Games Workshop, or Fantasy Flight, or a major gaming company. I have to think about how to define major.
So, we could name them. Like you could say Privateer Press, Games Workshop, Cool Mini or not, or the likes of those. So then if it's some miniature company we've never heard of, we'd be like, we've never heard of that. So that would be Spartan Games. That would be
Warlord,
Mantic, Privateer Press, Cool Mini or not.
Yeah.
Of that level.
Perry Brothers.
They must have a commercially available game already.
No, because that could be some dinky company that sells.
That's fair. So those guys, but I want to include board games in here too. Like if
how about they would have a booth at Gen Con?
Yeah. Well, little guys can have booths at Gen Con too, though. There could be a little no-name company doing this at Gen Con in a booth. So that wouldn't really. I don't mean to.
Okay.
Make somebody feel.
They've had to have a booth prior at Gen Con.
I like this. Let's name some companies here. I'm trying to think of a couple more. Asmodee would be one, right?
Yep.
Games Workshop.
Yeah, GW, etc.
Does Zap Games?
So I'm willing to have given these examples, and then when this comes around again, you guys can if it's a company that's on the edge, we can judge it. I'm okay with that.
Yeah,
I like that. You know the intent. You know the spirit of this rule.
Yeah. All right.
Right.
Like if he forgot to name weird, we'd be like, oh, of course.
Right. So what do you think? So there's a couple in here. First of all, it's got to be a significant company.
Somebody has to be selling licensed 3D products, and there has to be one fully printable miniatures board game.
Yeah, miniature
game.
Yeah, one or the other.
Available entirely as a 3D print and play.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll disagree.
All right.
What do you mean one or the other?
It has to be both.
No, it's either a board game or a miniature game. I'm not saying it has to be a miniature game in it.
No. But you're saying a company has to be selling a licensed product, and a company has to be selling an entire game.
Yes.
Right. Which technically, if they're selling a game, you would say that they were selling products. So I guess it all rests on that second.
But I'm also thinking there's going to be like I can go print out official Privateer Press tokens, kind of thing or something. But yeah, that's addition too.
I see what he's saying.
Yeah, it's a double prediction.
I agree with Russ.
Oh, you agree? Oh, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I thought I had a 3-pointer there.
So what it takes is
it's hard. Yeah.
One fully printable miniatures board game. Now, does that part also have to be from a main person, like a main company?
Yeah. I think. Well, yeah, because I think those exist already.
Yes.
I think there's some
some random.
Yeah, there's some random stuff out there now, so that doesn't count.
And Raef agrees, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, this is the year when that's going to happen.
I feel like we're on the edge, but I like this prediction because I'm trying to think out into the So we'll see. I could be early on this. It's going to happen.
It could be early.
Or when, yeah. But anyway, we'll see what happens.
No, I think But you know what? I mean, yeah,
it's on the edge. But I think
it is on the edge, Craig.
Hear about it more and more.
Well, you disagree.
It could be that it's too soon.
Raef, what is your round 7 prediction, sir?
Wait, I'm not done.
You disagreed.
I haven't decided. I'm not finalized yet.
Oh, I thought you disagreed. Did he disagree?
I did disagree, but I changed my mind. We're not on to Raef yet. You've changed your mind. We've all changed our minds. Now I'll stick with a disagree.
All right, good. All right, Raef, what is your round 7 prediction?
Okay. It wouldn't be a prediction episode without this.
Oh, God.
The new game by Uwe Rosenberg, which is called A Feast for Odin. I will play it at least once, but after playing it, I will admit that I still like Agricola the best. Just for the record.
Played by Raef, but he will say he likes Agricola better.
Correct. Now, first of all, you all know me, that if I played A Feast for Odin and I love it better than Agricola,
you'll tell us.
This game,
I believe you.
I will tell the truth.
I believe you.
So I own Agricola, Le Havre, Caverna, and Patchwork, and I still like Agricola the best out of all of them, even though most people like Caverna better.
Right.
And the Feast for Odin game looks freaking awesome.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one. Craig, what do you think? Do you think Raef's going to succumb to the new hotness?
Agricola fanboy.
Yeah, I agree. I'm going to agree with this too, Raef. You got to do something else, man. We need more. We need more oomph. Got to add a little bit to this.
I will play A Feast for Odin. 3 times or more.
3 times. Ooh, that's okay. Now, how long is A Feast for Odin? Do we know?
I have no idea.
I'm going to disagree with that. I don't
Is it not out yet?
No.
It's out.
Oh, is it? I thought
it is out.
Yep.
All right.
But remember, I haven't been playing games. I haven't played a board game in probably 8 months.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. I found
Board Game Geek says that it's 30 to 120 minutes. That's quite a stretch.
Yeah.
1 to 4 players. It's 8.4.
That's a high rating. They like their Euros over there on Board Game Geek.
They do.
All right. I'm still disagreeing. I have disagreed.
Now listen to this, Russ.
Yeah.
When I was doing my research on this, listen to the fun of this game. It's a UA Rosenberg game.
Yeah,
Ready?
I know that part.
It's called The Fields of Arley. It came out this year.
Fields of Arley.
It's set in the German region of East Frisia. And players develop in a state, and you expand your territory by cutting peat and building dikes.
Cutting
That's
peat.
the game.
You know, that is a passionate hobby for some people. Well,
ooh, there's actual fighting in A Feast for Odin. I don't think that's your kind of game.
You can't have a game about Norse people and not have some combat. That's just how that
well,
roll over there.
if anyone could, it would be you.
Vikings. All right. Well, Craig, what do you think?
Yeah, I still agree.
All
I think he's a fanboy.
I have disagreed, so there you have it. All right. So, meaning that he's not going to get 3 plays in. I don't think he's going to like it that much. I think he's going to like Agricola so much better, he's going to play Agricola all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
All right. So, here we go. The last person in the last round. Craig, what is your round 7 and final prediction for 2017?
Ready?
Yeah, here we go.
Talk about the light.
Yeah.
Either Wonder Woman or Justice League will beat one of the MCU films of 2017.
Ooh.
Okay, this means in either Rotten Tomatoes or Box Office Mojo. So it's going to beat one of those two will beat one of the MCU films in either the critics or the box office numbers.
Well, it'll be Wonder Woman if it's anything. And
see, because Batman versus Superman made a lot of money.
Did it beat any Marvel movies?
I don't think so. I don't know. I didn't look it up, but I don't think so.
Why don't you paste your thing in there so we can read it? But I think I'm going to go. I'm going to disagree with this.
Oh, that locks it in.
I'm going out there and saying no.
I agree,
way, Jose. I need to see it in writing here, Craig, to be official.
Yeah, I'm.
But yeah, I'm gonna say negative.
I read
on
it
that one
word for word.
I think Wonder Woman's got a chance, and the thing is, you're saying, and Spider-Man could not do well, so there's a chance here.
Hey, well, also don't forget Ragnarok is coming up, and the Thor movies have not done well.
Ragnarok's gonna do awesome.
I almost didn't include Ragnarok, but I thought that would be for sure.
Ragnarok's going to do well, I think, because they've set up now all the Infinity Stones.
Yeah.
So I think the premise from all the other movies now, Thor's fine. He's all set.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he's going to do just fine. I think that, but Wonder Woman has got the whole Wonder Woman thing going on there, and she actually was the only person in Bat vs. Supes that actually was cool. So she's got the chance. I think Justice League, I should have predicted Justice League was going to suck, but I didn't. I was trying to stay in the light.
Good.
Justice League is going to,
It's going to be no good.
You know where I stand on the
bonus
DC
prediction,
universe.
Justice League is going to suck.
In fact, let me tell you this. When I wrote my predictions earlier today, this prediction was exactly the opposite of the way it reads now.
No, Wonder Woman, I think.
But I went, you know what? I'm gonna
Wonder Woman has a shot.
I think Wonder Woman's got a shot. I think Justice League has no shot. I really do. But we'll see.
One of the two is going to be.
No, I think it's a good prediction.
And it's up, but it's up against Spider-Man, Ragnarok, and Guardians of the Galaxy. There's 3 MCU movies in 2017.
Guardians and Ragnarok will do well. I'm worried about Spidey, just because of Spidey fatigue. He's had like so
that's true.
movies.
This is like the third reboot.
So what I'm worried about with Spidey
iteration.
Yeah, I'm worried about with Spidey is that he'll do okay, but he won't do amazing, and that'll give Wonder Woman the opening to be. So this is a good prediction. I really like it. So I'm disagreeing, but I really like it because it's a tough one.
Okay.
So Raef, did you agree? Is that what you went with?
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, there you have it. So we got one more thing to do here, though, before we can wrap up. We got to do the bonus round, which is we each predict who's going to win the prediction episode.
Yeah.
So I will start. I am going to say that Raef is going to win it all because Craig has been on a streak, and I think this year he has stumbled.
Oh, it's ridiculous that I was on a streak at all.
And so now I'm going to say that Raef is going to win.
So that's funny,
Okay.
Russ, because my prediction is identical about Craig being on a streak and he will stumble, but Russ is going to win.
Okay, all right. And then Craig, what is your
Okay.
prediction? Are you
Craig
gonna
thinks
stumble?
he's still going to be. No, I'm just kidding.
You should have. That would be
You should
great.
pick-
Double down.
You should
Craig.
pick yourself.
Double down.
I
believe in you. No, I
no.
don't, because I would have predicted you.
No, you don't.
But
You
I
would have.
did.
I think it's Russ's year.
All right.
I do. I felt that it was Rafe's year this year, and I feel like it was Russ's. This is going to be Russ's year.
All right.
That's what I think.
All right.
There you have
And
it.
no offense to Rafe, but
No.
that's how that's what I feel.
Hell, I will say none taken on his behalf. So is that legal? That's legal. So, Rafe,
right.
thank you so much for joining us again in the
Thanks
third
for
show.
having me, as
Always
Always
a
pleasure.
blast.
Always fun.
Fun.
So thank you again for joining us in the holiday season here, and have a happy New Year, Rafe.
Thank you.
And happy New Year to all of our
Happy
listeners.
2017, everybody.
Yes, happy 2017, and we'll see you soon on the other side.
And here's to seeing you guys more next year.
Yeah, indeed. I'll drink to that.
See you guys.
This Joe Curtis is brought to you by all of our friends at Patreon. Those are the folks who went, suffered through the video, and help us keep this show going from one week to the next. Without this elite band of rebels, this show would have ended quite a while ago. And today I'd like to thank Jack, just Jack, Jacob Bai, Jacob Borsma, Jahan Karga. Now you're just trying to make it difficult. And Jake Thornton. So thanks to you, gentlemen. And thanks to everybody who took the time and help us put things together. We really, really appreciate it. Did you ever notice how hard it is to grow old? I'm in my mid-ish 40s. And I didn't think about that as old, except that now there's some aches that weren't always there. And if I turn the wrong way in bed, I'm going to be paying for it for the next day or two. But there are so many other things that strike you as difficult. And that would be the other people in your life are all, aging at the same time. And, there's a whole mortal coil that we don't think about that looms large at times like this. And I don't deal with change very well. In case I may have noted that at some time in the past. And this week, of course, Carrie Fisher passed away, and I can't express my gratitude to her for all that she did and all that she brought to my life and other people's lives and my friends' daughters and my friends who are women. She was an amazing person. She was an amazingly strong woman in her own right, as well as the characters that she played. And she went through a lot of difficulties, and she was very upfront with that. And that took a whole different brand of courage. And I think in her courage, she was an incredible role model. And also, of course, she's linked directly to my youth, my first earliest memories of Star Wars and the movies that came after. And so when I first saw that she had had her difficulties on the airplane on the way back from London, I was shocked. I was devastated. I was hurt. I saw a few of the tweets from people who were on the airplane. I have a lot of medical people in my life and in my family. I kind of knew what most of the unofficial reports from eyewitnesses meant. And, of course, then when the announcement went out just yesterday, Tuesday the 27th, it hurt. It hurt a lot. And I know I'm not alone in that. And it really, really bothered me. And bothered me more than I would have expected it to bother me. And my wife sort of stepped in and was like, well, it makes perfect sense because you're getting old. And, it doesn't sound like it was very comforting, but it was. And I am sure that this topic has been handled elsewhere in the podcast, probably more eloquently than I could do it. And so I'll just say that that's sort of where I am at the moment, and I feel awful, and I know that many of you feel awful for the same reasons. And so that's where my thoughts were when I sat down to do this last Did You Ever Notice of 2016. It's been a rough year. Okay. I paused because I wanted to look up a couple things, and I can't do this. It's insane how many amazing people have passed away in the last year, and personally, as where I started this, how many of them are younger than my parents. So it's very upsetting on that level as well. I started writing down the various people, and when I came to the fact that Debbie Reynolds, who was alive when we started recording tonight and had passed away, that would be Carrie Fisher's mom. It's just, so instead, I would like to take a few moments to remember some amazing things about some of these amazing people that we've lost. Carrie Fisher, of course, it goes without saying. Princess Leia, When Harry Met Sally, her books, her candid treatment of her own problems. And I'm gonna skip a bunch of people because I wrote too many down. Alan Rickman was a shock to me. 69 years old. Amazing. Hans Gruber, of course. Most of the rest of you will probably know him as Severus Snape, but to me, he will always be Hans Gruber. And one of my favorite. This is. I'm pulling the curtain a little bit. Love Actually, my favorite Christmas movie of all time. I know it's bizarre. It's not really Christmas, but there it is. He's great in that. Gary Shandling. So funny. Anton Yelchin, I only knew him from the new reboot of Star Trek. He was, Chekhov, but his story is so tragic. He was only 27. Ron Glass, Reverend Book among many other things, from Firefly. Kenny Baker, R2D2. These are older, people who passed on. He was 81. John McLaughlin of the McLaughlin Group was 89. Gene Wilder was 83. Florence Henderson, everybody knows her from the Brady Bunch, 82. I stopped when I saw Debbie Reynolds, and it's just sad. It's a very sad time right now. But I know on the other side, the way that we all deal with, or most of us deal with grief, it's hard. And then there has to be, you pass through it. You have to pass through it. That's the way our brains are made. And on the other side, there will be these movies and these TV shows and these episodes, and ways that we can, reattach to these people who, none of them knew me, would ever know me, no matter how long they lived, but they meant something to me. And I think they meant something, most of them, to most of you as well. And I just wanted to say something. I don't even know what I've said. I've kind of lost track of my whole thread. And I think to just continue on would be sort of maudlin. So here's to 2017. I am going to miss all of these people and so many more. I didn't really even touch on any of the musicians that we lost. But yeah, I am at a loss. I am at a loss. And I could re-record this, but I don't think I want to. Because I wanted to say something, and I don't even know if this was it. But that's all I have to say about this right now. So thanks for listening all the way through. Thanks for supporting us throughout the year. May 2017 be a better year in many ways than 2016 was. Good night.
Achievement unlocked. You've made it to the end of another D6 Generation episode, the podcast whose humor has universally been acclaimed as not too horrible. Please let us know what you thought of the show by either emailing us at info@the d6generation.com or by posting in our official D6G episode thread at the top of the DACA discussions forum on DACA.com. If for some inexplicable reason you actually enjoyed this show, you can help others find out about it by leaving positive reviews on iTunes. See you in 2 weeks. Thanks for listening, and happy gaming.
The theme from Total Fangirl comes from the soundtrack of The Last Night on Earth, the zombie game, courtesy of Flying Frog Productions, and is a composition of Mary Beth Magalanes.
Weak sauce Star Trek theme, dude.
That's what I think about Star Trek, especially in the wake of the ascendant Star Wars domination.
Look, there's room in the universe for everything.
There is, but you know what? In my heart,
It'd be like saying you can't like, Guardians of the Galaxy and Star Wars. That's just wrong.
That's
just
not true at all.
It's a totally different universe. They got lots of aliens, but it doesn't matter. It's a good movie.
But you know what? Guardians of the Galaxy is postmodern. It actually references Star Wars. It includes itself in the Star Wars world. Whereas when Star Wars and Star Trek were coming up, they were in conflict with each other, not in referencing each other.
They were
Therefore,
not in conflict.
In both of their galactic views, their world views, if you will, they were diametrically opposed.
No, they are not diametrically
opposed. They are. Star Trek is all,
everything's going to be great. And once we get out there, humanity is going to be swell.
And Star Wars is all about humanity is the racists of the universe, and they are going to crush everyone under their nice, shiny, white, polished boot.
No.
I don't know if Star Trek was that rosy.
No. Well, plus Star Wars isn't even the realist. It's just a wholly different. It's fantasy in space.
I don't want to have this conversation because it's not about reality. It's about what's in my head.
All right. Well,
and
what's in your head?
I'm fine
is all that
with what's in my head.
Okay.
I like the reboots. I like the new Star Trek.
As long as someone's okay with what's in your head, that's the important thing.